Okay. We're going live. Everybody calm down. I am 1 minute early, technically, because we used all of the 15-minute buffer I gave myself to get these brackets up. Okay. Oh, shit, my YouTube isn't muted. Alright, I got it. Yeah, let me just post this stream around to the self-promotion places, and then I will pay attention to you, dearest chat. Thank you for allowing the 15-minute delay, because I did have to go through with some of my mods and make sure that the tournament was as good at first round as it could be. Now, when we do that, what we go with is we avoid any matchups that are 70-30 or worse, which, like, 30% of the time, Faction A can beat Faction B. So we try and stay in, like, the 60% is the worst matchup we're going to give you. But it is difficult, especially when people are picking lower tier factions like Slanesh or Demons of Chaos. Then you're like, bruh, you don't have very many good matchups at all. So we're just going to try to not completely screw you over, but that's what we got. Excuse me. We are short on time. True. How many people are participating again? 54 actually made it today. 53 or 54. Let's take a look at the bracket. Oh, I have a bye round. I actually didn't even notice. I legit didn't notice. Wow, bias! Yeah, sure. If Chosen One and I tie, I'll give it to him because I got a bye round. We do have a shit ton of people playing in today's Faction War Qualifier. And as you saw on the blocker that I previously had up. There we go. On the blocker for today, every faction is available. Now, I know that might seem confusing because you see names in the middle, but if you take out those names, if you don't pay attention to them at all, block them with your hand, you can see that every faction in the game is left. This is to make a bracket of 32, so there's no bye rounds for anybody in the official faction war. We did host a tournament Friday night to determine the 8 extras to fill out the bracket. So the extras are determined. JMG on Chaos Dwarves, Hanadins on Empire, the Phoenix King on Wood Elves, Rocket Row on Lizardmen, Umai's on the High Elves, Dr. Nerd, Kislev, Pigman 202, Dark Elves, and Anti-Kaiju on Grand Cathay. But today, we will be getting the 24 factions base person. So no mercenary slots or anything like that. Every faction needs a representative. And how that's going to work is if you win round 1 and lose round 2, you're not in the top 24 of the tournament. You might be like, wow, I'm out of the faction war. Not the case. If you made it that far as Nurgle, and the other Nurgle player lost right away, then you will be invited to the faction war as the Nurgle representative because you got the furthest as Nurgle, right? So you really want to just get as far as you can on your faction, and you're competing against anybody else in the tournament who took your faction. You're not competing against everybody else in the tournament, period. And that's why I have a bye round and Chosen One doesn't. Let's say Chosen One beats Omens, and he gets to the round 2. And then let's say Sipa beats Blood Penguin and he comes fights me. If Sipa beats me and Big JP beats Chosen One and I are at the same spot in the bracket, but Chosen One got a win and I never did. So Chosen One would be invited to the faction war. Right. I am playing Skaven. Let's see if I have a lot of Skaven competition. I think I only saw Chosen One. Uh-oh. Challenge is freezing up. There we go. I think I only saw Chosen One as my competition for Skaven. But I'll do a quick scan. Me. Chosen One. That looks like it. Father Ramsey also plays Skaven, but he did not end up checking in, so cool. That makes me happy. Either I get into Faction War, which obviously I would be happy about, or Chosen One of my favorite players to ever watch on Turin streams back in the day. I mean, still, when he streams Chosen One, sure, I enjoy watching it. But I meant when I first got into Total War, it was like Chosen One was one of my favorite players to watch. So if I get knocked out of the faction war, at least I get to watch one of my favorite players of all time. That is the definition of a win-win. Okay. Just getting a blocker in position before I join a lobby. For scheduling's efficiency's sake, I will watch the players who are ahead of me. God damn it, got the bye. Sorry, Strat. We were trying to figure that out, but like Bretonia is one that a lot of people didn't want to face, so then it was really tough to like find one. We had Warriors of Chaos versus Brett, and there was disagreements among the 3 people, myself and then 2 others that I don't want to name so that they don't get angry messages from anyone who's displeased with the round 1 matchup. But I picked 2 people from my mod team, and we communicated about, I made the bracket, and I said, this is my first path through. You 2 go through it and tell me if I fucked up anywhere. And then they both sent me some, and then we switched those around and stuff. But we ended up with Warriors of Chaos versus Brett, and one of the 3 was like, that shit's unplayable for the Warriors of Chaos. So we just swapped out Lizardmen into Brett, so you got a bye round, my friend. Is Gorgazon map first? Yeet. Our first match of the day. Here's the belated bribe to get the bye round. Thanks. Now, there is an advantage to the bye round. The way I described it with Chosen One, me specifically, since I hosted the tournament and I made the bracket, if Chosen One and I both go 0-1 and we both lose, I'll let Chosen One in because I gave myself a bye round, which is, not fair. But in general, if you're not the tournament host, if you have a bye round and you lost and your opponent, like another Norskin player below you or something, also went 0-1, I mean, I'd probably give it to the bye round player for simplicity's sake. But I guess that's hard. You could do a mirror match. Because you could count them as tying. I just wonder if I'm going to be able to see that across 24 factions in a bracket this big. Or if I'll just be like, greenskin player there got further. I don't know. We'll deal with it when it comes up. Just know we'll do our best. Belated bribe for the bye round. Thanks, Strat. Thanks. How dare you say my trash faction is trash? Is the final bracket out? Yeah, I just forgot to hit start, Goji. How would you buff Plague Drones? They're the coolest thing on the Nurgle roster, and they're kind of bad each after a buff. Their cost is just too high, and I know it's the boring answer, but it's like, it's true. Plague Drones are like 1,100 or something, aren't they? That puts them on the territory of like Pegasus Knights, which are also a bad unit. But they just kind of don't hold up to that level of cost. Now, if they were like 900, that'd be a little better. Maybe even just 1,000. Okay. Start of this kind of term is always chaotic, so sorry, I had a lot of messages to go through and stuff. Yeah, for Plague Drones, the biggest thing is their cost and demonic instability. Because if they were a mortal unit, they might be fine. You know, it's like, oh, I took enough damage and I routed, but I'll come back and get 1 or 2 more rear charges in and be fine. It's like, no. If they get low enough, they just fucking die. So for game 1, we have Sipa versus Blood Penguin. Blood Penguin is famous for his Empire play, though surprisingly not seeing Karl Franz. I don't think Karl Franz is the best in this matchup. I don't know who is. I'm not actually an expert at Empire versus Dark Elves. But it is just weird seeing specifically Blood Penguin not take Karl Franz, because this guy pretty much takes Karl Franz any matchup ever. It's like, when he loads up his Empire build, it's just Karl Franz and 19 blank spaces, no matter what opponent he's fighting, and then he builds an army. So, interesting to see him take Gelt. Yeah. Dark Elves Empire is overall an even matchup in the grand scheme of things. Though I do know that Sipa hates Empire with a passion, just like as a faction he despises them. So even on his beloved Dark Elves, he is not happy about this matchup, I imagine. But if he can take the W today, then that's kind of like therapy. It's like confronting your demons. You got this. But it is impossible for me to make a bracket around everybody's personal preferences. It's like I just take the matchups as like their global standing. It's like, in general, AI versus AI. Empire, Dark Elves is quite even. I'll go with that. For the Empire side, now that they're mostly set up, we do have Empire Knights. It looks like 3 of them with 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun. They keep getting shifted around on me. 1 outright with grenade launchers, the Silver Bullets, and then a bunch of state troops, some of which are great swords. And we do have the Sigmar's Sons in the front line, interestingly enough. Balthazar Gelt's in the sky with only Final Transmutation as his spell. Once again, an interesting development. Blood Penguin, when he takes Metal Casters on Norska, he always goes Plague of Rust and Searing Doom, so it's really weird. This is double weird. I don't think this is Blood Penguin at all. This is a Void Laws Smurf. Kick him out of the tournament. Fuck this guy. On the other side, for the Dark Elves, we have 2 Scourge Runner Chariots, which we have not seen a lot of, though in the Nations event, I think it was Ruben, MTK's Ruben, maybe, if I remember correctly, who used 3 or 4 Scourge Runner Chariots versus Rocket's Lizardmen and actually made them look pretty solid. But we haven't seen a lot of them since their nerfs besides that game. We have Malice Darkblade, a Shadows Caster with just Melkots, Dark Riders, and Cold One Knights. We have the Crows of Cain, 2 Bolt Throwers, and then a front line of Dread Spears and Bleak Swords. The Empire has a better front line. That's really about it. The Empire's front line is going to be a lot of their strength. I guess they also have more heavy cav. I mean, 5 to 2 and then 2 light cav. So yeah, their heavy cav and their front line is better. The Dark Elves have much better single entities in Malice, and then they have better skirmish. I would say 2 Scourge Runner Chariots is better than 1 outright of grenade launchers, especially with double Reaper Bolt Thrower artillery pressuring those guys whenever they come in range. So the Dark Elves need to keep their range online and get good use out of their single entities. The Empire really has to win the macro game with their better front line and better cavalry. First Final Transmutation is coming in from Gelt, but Gelt's having a bad time. Locked up in the Crows of Cain. Not taking that much damage, but his leadership is dipping quite quickly. Final Transmutation is going to be huge, though, on the Cold One Knights. It is overcasted, so it's getting a lot of damage out, even on the Sorceress, too. So a great cast from Gelt, but he has to be quite careful about these Crows of Cain that are harassing him. The Silver Bullets are under attack by Malice, and the Scourge Runner Chariots are trying to put the Chariot in their name to use. But Knights of the Blazing Sun are here to countercharge, catching those Scourge Runner Chariots. And even without armor-piercing, Knights of the Blazing Sun just have a really, really good charge bonus. Lots of stats. They will get good damage done here. Malice is trying to bail these guys out of a bad time. The front line of the Empire is shining through, though, as the Bleak Swords can't plug all of the gaps. The Reaper Bolt Throwers are on a ticking time bomb before these Spearmen and Great Swords get here and shut them down for good. Cavalry of the Empire is working their way through. Melkoth's trying to whittle them down. But the Empire is dominating the overall map. Now, Malice is still very strong, as he usually is in this point. We'll see if his army can do enough damage that in the late game Malice can carry them. It's looking a little rough. Yes, it was Ruben. Ah, I remembered correctly. Dark Elves Empire is super fair. I meant we all have our matchups we hate. And I know he fucking hates Empire. He messages me about it a lot. So I feel bad for giving him Empire round 1, but it's like, you're trying to balance a whole bunch of things. And honestly, I didn't even notice it was Sipa versus Dark Elves. Sipa versus Empire. It was just like, Dark Elves Empire, lock it. Moving on. Malice still causing a bit of a problem. Damage value is about 1,000 favor for the Empire. The one important thing to remember is that the damage value overall is just going to stick for both parties. Not a lot of healing on either of these rosters right now. I mean, the Empire didn't take a life caster. So Malice is the only character on the whole map that can heal at all. So as long as Sipa gets as much damage as he can before his forces fall apart, then Malice can try and carry. And honestly, if Malice kills the silver bullets, he's in a good position to kill a lot of other stuff on this roster. Outriders, grenade launchers are not a threat to him at all. Spearmen and greatswords aren't really a threat to him too much. So it is the silver bullets and final transmutation that will have to deal with Malice at some point. Or, of course, weight of numbers. I mean, Malice can kill a lot of spearmen, but if you have literally thousands of spearmen, then yeah, he's in trouble. We still have one healthy Cold One Knight and a Scourge Runner Chariot with all 4 models and a lot of ammunition. The Cold One Knights will wreck these Empire Knights here, though actually taking a bit more damage on the charge than I thought. Maybe some Scourge Runner friendly fire occurred. Silver Bullets are moving over, realizing that this last healthy Cold One Knight is their biggest problem, and they need to shut it down in some way, so they are trying to get a rear shot, but it looks like these Empire Knights are going to die off. Big Final Transmutation. It is overcast, and it kills off the Shadows caster that Malice was trying to defend, and Malice will need to transform soon. 7,400 damage value for Plague Penguin. Sipa falling a bit behind on that front. Cold Knights are going to have to charge into those silver bullets, taking a bit of damage, but the silver bullets are actually trying to run away. I don't know if that's actually the best choice. They might have wanted to just stand and shoot while they still could, because they're never going to outrun these Scourge Runner Chariots and the Cold Knights. Mouse needs to transform soon, but he is trying to get the most out of his health bar that he can. He has to be careful of army losses. If he gets army loss before starting his transformation, the timing doesn't line up, and he won't transform before the game actually just ends. Scourge Runner Chariots and Cold One Knights falling back away from Gelt and the Silver Bullets. Blood Penguin did manage to secure them. Malice is still doing decent work on some Spearmen. Still have Crows of Cain trying to regenerate up, though they did take some shots from the grenade launchers, which I didn't think could shoot into the sky, so they must have been on the ground at the time or something. Cold One Knights trying to run away from these Knights of Blazing Sun. The Knights of Blazing Sun are faster. They're getting rear attacks. The Cold Knights might just have to accept their fate, turn around and fight, at least while they still can. In the distance, Knights of the Blazing Sun are shattered, but a Scourge Runner Chariot just shatters because reasons. I guess it had 28 HP, I get that, but it looked funny. It's like, alright, we beat the Knight of the Blazing Sun, I'm out, peace. The Empire is heavily favored on the bounce power, and though that bounce power is going to spike back into the Dark Elves' favor for just a little bit when Tazarkan shows up, I do overall agree with the sentiment. This is looking like too many troops for Malice to be able to chug through as far as this game goes. You've never seen Sipa take Malice? Oh. I think he takes Malice a lot, but maybe that's just when he plays me because he knows I get tilted against Malice and I can't handle it. Scourge Runner Chariots kiting out these Empire Knights should be able to rout them off as Sipa's giving them constant movement orders to get away. And their superior speed means the Empire Knights are having a hard time really catching up to them without that charge bonus. They do get stopped at last, but again, they should be able to rout off those Empire Knights. More Knights of Blazing Sun, other Empire Knights are trying to chase them down. Silver Bullets, very healthy coming in this late game. Gelt has used 2 overcasted Final Transmutations, and Staff of Volunds gives him more Winds of Magic recharge. It doesn't give him more Winds of Magic. So he's still kind of limited to that 60 Winds of Magic, or is it 80? I think it's 80. 80 Winds of Magic everybody is, and that gives you 3 overcasted Final Transmutations. So he only has 1 more of those to hit Malice with. Malice is almost heal capped. Sipa's doing a really good job of not panic pushing Malice's transformation, and this could be huge. If Malice actually manages to kill off Balthazar Gelt, the Scourge Runner Chariots need to go into melee with him. He got away. But if they could lock him in right next to Malice and Malice gets to beat him up, that could be huge in this game. Because then the Empire's leadership tanks, they don't get their magic Final Transmutations or anything, and then Malice could pretty much just run at the Silver Bullets, kill them off, and then rout the rest of this army slowly over time. Scourge Runner Chariots are out of ammunition. They're now just trying to chase off anything that might come back, including these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Some Empire Knights might have to come out and peel those guys, or Gelt or something, but Malice is doing Malice things. And the Empire's looking a little thin. Just a little bit. I mean, they still have troops, right? But you're thinking of troops that can kill Tazarkan. There's another Final Transmutation. Probably going to be Overcast, and Malice needs, and he's trying to, but Malice needs to get away from his healthy Bleak Swords. He just doesn't want that extra splash damage to hit them. But Spite is very much like a horse mount, and he is stuck in state troops, barely moving. There's the lag spike that's making it look worse than it is, but yeah, he is barely moving. So unfortunately for Malice and Sipa, that Final Trans is going to hit both of them. He needs to transform soon. There it is, transforms into Zarkan. The Final Trans still goes for a little bit, but he mostly just needed to transform because Army Losses was coming in real close. So Malice is out and alive. He's charging forward. He did pop Bloodstorm to give himself some damage resistance, but it looks like he's saving Reaper of Souls to get up to this blob. A full health Greatsword, the Silver Bullets, and a healthy Empire Knight. If Malice can get onto them and use that the Reaper of Souls, that's really good damage value onto a lot of important targets. He didn't want to burn out just an almost dead Sigmar Sun and Spearman. Great Swords catch Malice, though, and like we literally just got through talking about, his mass is very poor. So he's not going to get through these guys quickly at all. He has to pop the Reaper of Souls just out of range of those Empire Knights and Silver Bullets, but he can't get through the Great Swords to get to them. So I don't think it was a mistake at all. I think it was a necessary evil. Now completely swamped in Great Swords, still trying to press his way through. The Silver Bullets line up for another shot, and this is looking like the doom of the Dark Elves as Blood Penguin is approaching almost double the damage value of his opponent. Silver Bullets get a still image of firing for a bit. Boop. Pokes some Silver Bullets. They start to run away as Empire Knights are going to use their superior mass to keep Malice in place. Zarkan is unbreakable. Everything else for the Dark Elves is routing besides, I guess, these Scourge Runner Chariots, who did successfully chase a Knight of the Blazing Sun off the battlefield, but Gelt is going to peel them for now. Malice, it depends on the cooldown of his Bloodstorm. If he has Bloodstorm right now, he could do a lot of damage to the Greatswords and a little bit to the Empire Knights, but he's just taking so much damage in this trade with those Greatswords. There's a Bloodstorm. Did about 1/6 of the HP for the Greatswords and whatever. These state troops are also low that Malice can definitely deal with them. Gelt, unless he has any final transmutations, is also worthless in this fight, so really everything that matters is on your screen right now. It's this half-health Greatsword, over half-health Empire Knight, and a very healthy, very strong Silver Bullets that keep chunking out Malice whenever he gets free from the Greatswords. So now he's in a catch-22 of, does he stay in the Greatswords to get safety from the Silver Bullets, or does he leave the Greatswords to shut down the Silver Bullets, in which case he gets a giant volley to the face and charged by Empire Knights. This is really good patient play from the Empire. They've handled it quite nicely. Another Reaper of Souls, try and heal up Malice and damage down these Greatswords. Another Bloodstorm as Malice kicks this guy off, but here comes the big problem. Silver Bullets waiting for that volley. Okay, you're not obstructed. There you go. Ranged units being quote-unquote obstructed. Tilting human boy. GG. The Empire wins. I don't think Malice is the best in this specific matchup because of all the shooting. I wonder if he goes with a cheap caster and then goes super wide elsewhere. Maybe it's a little bit better, but I don't know. Sipa's way better at Dark Elves than I am. Dark Elves are actually like one of my least good factions. I know they're objectively a good faction in the meta, but like I'm terrible at them. For Gelt and the Empire, they did good. It looks like Blood Penguin had a plan when he abandoned his beloved Karl Franz. Final Transmutation on Malice and the Sorceress got a ton of value. And the Knights of Blazing Sun did pretty well. I'm happy to see Knights of Blazing Sun again. They were one of my favorite units in Warhammer 2, but we just stopped seeing them in 3. So GG. GG. I now have to fight the Penguin of Blood. I mean, the pressure's on, because I already announced that if I lose here and Chosen One loses, he gets into the faction war. So to get in the faction war at all, I need 1 win. But I'm also keenly watching Chosen One on the bracket, because if he gets a win, then I'll need another win. So my best hope is Chosen One loses here and I win. And then I can lose in peace. Because I got close. I got close to qualifying on the Friday one, but Rocket knocked me out just before top 8, which would have got me in. I do have a distinct mental advantage, though, because as much as Sipa hates Dark Elves versus Empire, Blood Penguin fucking hates Skaven. He hates them so much. One second, sorry, someone's asking me something. Sorry. A player is having a difficulty finding their opponent, so I'm trying to help out with that. And then Did I have the blocker up for that whole fight? Hold on. Oh, thank God! Holy shit! Okay. I hadn't looked at stream in a while, and when I looked at my streaming software, the blocker was already up. And I don't remember putting it up. I'm like, oh my God, was chat just watching a blocker all game? Oh God. Calm down, me. That was a streamer's nightmare. Oh, God. Okay. Mind showing off that shirt? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Let me get a build up so that my opponent isn't waiting on me for too long. Because Blood Penguin, as much as he hates this matchup, he probably knows it by now well enough that we shouldn't lollygag. Just give me 1 second here, my friends. I'll make a build, then I'll show you the shirt. It's your birthday? Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Welcome to the world of tax-paying adults. 15? That's old enough to get in the mines. The coal mines. Ooh, I'm having difficulty picking my lord right now. It's a faction war. Focus. Don't pick something stupid. Don't do it. We all know you're thinking of doing something real stupid. And just don't. All right. What do I need? Could use some of those. Pick something stupid and fun, sir. There's no way you could lose. How do I tell you that it is very possible I lose? Not even very possible, very probable. I am a loser! Okay, so we have that. Like, Queek on turns tourney? Alright, turns tourney was for fun, though. was fun. I had a great time. I had an excellent time playing on Turn's tournament. It was great. It was amazing. I had fun. And sometimes that's all you need. Yes, yes, lose, please. Fuck! Chosen one won! Damn it! I have to win 2 if I'm gonna get in. No! No, Chosen one! Don't do this! Don't do this to me! Abomination, or you're not a true rat maid. What up, Rusty? Alright. Okay. So someone wanted to see the shirt, so 1 second. 1 second. We'll focus on the game in a second. So one, we got the horned rat beanie Grace gave me for Christmas 2 Christmases ago. And then we got the horned rat shirt. Look at him go. Repping the Skaven. And then we got puppy pajama pants. Holy shit, so many puppies. We're swagged out. We're swagged out today. So I am actually going with the Skaven Rush. When I've played this in the past, it feels really coin flip for me to do shooting, because either you do Warp Lightning Cannon shooting, and then the ROR Hellstorm Rocket Battery can still take them out, so then maybe you go 2 Warp Lightning Cannons. Though I played this with Umais? I played this with somebody, and my Warp Lightning Cannons were not winning the artillery game at all, so I switched to shooting at something else. Regardless, whatever. Like, you'd have to take a lot of Warp Lightning Cannons to beat the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, which is risky. Or you can go Giselles, which beat the Hellstorm Rocket Battery. But if he goes Fate of Buna and Boris, then you're losing a lot of value very quickly. So it's like, I don't know. The ranged game feels like a lot of coin flips. So Rush, Skaven Rush has recently been doing a little bit better for me than 50-50. It's still risky, but this matchup kind of... It's still Skaven favored. All right, before this game starts, before I lose and bitch and make all of my self, make myself feel better and all that shit, this matchup is Skaven favored, though I think in recent patches it has been more 55-45 than like 80-20. Somewhere in there. And like Blood Penguin's a really good player, and I know he hates this matchup, so he's probably got some sort of scheme cooked up, and it's like, yeah. So Rush can be just a little more reliable. Plague Monks will bring anything, beat anything that he brings as the Empire. Even Greatswords, they trade okay. But if he has Greatswords, I can charge them with Rat Ogres and Ikaclaw's Brass Orb and do really good damage to them and take them out. But against normal state troops, Plague Monks will do really, really well. I do have Ikaclaw. I have taken the Greyseer in the past for the melee buffs, but the problem with that, the Greyseer is always a great lord. He's always a great lord. So when I say the problem with that, it's not like, he's unviable. It's, he is fine. But the Empire doesn't rely on their melee stats. They rely on their mass. With Empire Knights charging you, that'll do most damage. They don't need their melee attack. And they rely on their range. So his melee debuffs from casting a bunch of ruin spells doesn't actually hurt the Empire that much. And then my ruin spells also aren't that effective. Howling Warp Gale on Boris, unless I have Rattling Guns to back them up, which I don't in this build, what am I netting him for? Okay, it doesn't matter. And then Warp Lightning, the Empire doesn't have a lot of high value things I can hit with that. So you could go Greyseer of Plague. I've been really struggling to make summons worth it recently. So I find Ikaclaw's a little safer. His Brass Orb is helpful at helping me clear out some of the enemy front line. He is a terror piece on his Doom Wheel. And Flinsing Ruin is good at whittling down Boris because I have to eventually kill him. And it's very hard for the Skaven to kill Boris in melee. You can do it with a Packmaster and some Rat Ogre surrounding, or Eshin Triads if I had them, but Flensing Ruin is a little easier to just be like, your mortality is dwindling as I cast this spell on you over and over again. I have been converted to the Church of Unlimited Power. I used to hate it because doing any damage to a Skaven Lord without regen felt really bad. But I think Strat Game, maybe? I had a conversation with someone, and I think it was Strat Game, was talking about why it's actually really good, and they ended up convincing me. So it's an Empire Rush, which I'm actually kind of happy to see. Because he's spending a lot of money on mobility. to come shut down my ranged units that I don't have. Alright. Packmaster is going to go on this flank with some dogs and rat ogres. Dogs I'll have hang back for just a bit. We'll have Poisonwind Globe support if we need it, but I don't want to Poisonwind Globe those Flagellants, because my Plague Monks are actually going to beat the Flagellants in the front line without much help. I thought I sent my Packmaster over here, but I guess not. Alright. Ikit, Brass Orb. The Sigmar's bros. Oh, fuck, I got charged over here. That's just a mistake. Okay, dogs move up. Rat Ogres can kind of peel for the backline a little bit. A Flensing Ruin him, just to start the process. And I will give this dog some love. But I did pull Rat Ogres over here for this specific reason, so let's fight these Knights of Blazing Sun as they pile up on my globes. I will have Slingers start dealing with the Pistoliers. We do have some dog units around. Wait, alright, this Rat Ogre go here, globes go there, this Rat Ogre, charge at these guys, and if they get around you, then that's just going to be a lot more micro for my opponent than me. Packmaster and Rat Ogre is getting good damage onto Boris, who's currently getting hit with a Flensing Ruin. Ikit Claw's doing his best over here, as we do have some Pistoliers supporting the fight, but that's kind of whatever. Sigmar Sons are so close to dead, the Poison Globes can finish them off. I'm going to have these Plague Monks go over here and start dealing with these Flagellants, as my dogs are going to kill the Sigmar Sons. Rat Ogres are trying to kill those guys. And these Empire Knights are walking away from my globes. They can only walk so far. Ikit's still doing pretty well. We routed Boris, which is huge. If we can kill him, that would be awesome. But it's looking unlikely, though. We might shatter him. He's taking a lot of damage over here. Ikit, pop another unlimited power. Can you guys come over here? Just a little bit. Globes help out, too. But things are going well for us on this quarter. Okay. I have some dogs killed off Sigmar's Sons. These globes are going to fight Empire Knights. These dogs are going to come over here. Plague Monks will just walk over here ominously. My poison dogs are going to help my Rat Ogres and Spears fight these Empire Knights, which is going pretty well for me. These dogs will try and get those guys, but Packmaster's taking a lot of damage. Don't love that. I'm going to send Ikit and Rat Ogres over here to bail him out. Hopefully their terror can help him. And Boris is off the map. He is shattered! Yeah, they lost Boris! Alright, leadership debuff, plus a Brass Orb, plus Ikit showing up. That should get those guys out of here. Should get my Packmaster to safety. Skaven Rush appears to be working out for now. Globes are under duress. We'll globe our own globes to make sure that globes have globes. And then... come here, Amethyst Wizard. Army losses is close. I forget how much it is for an overcasted Flensing Ruin, but I just want damages. There we go. I tied with Chosen One again. Chosen One has to beat Bretonnia! Yeah! Yeah, you can't do it! You can't do it! Bretonnia is impossible to be Skaven. He's fucked! Though actually, if I lose my next matchup too, we tie again, and I already announced I give the tie to Chosen One because I gave myself a bye round like a prick. So I need to win the next game no matter what. Versus either Dwarves or Bretonnia. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. I hope Gotrek wins. So I get to fight Dwarves. I don't want to fight Brett. I was literally just laughing at Chosen One for that. No, don't do it. Don't do it, Senpai. GG, GG. All right. How are we doing? So while I wait for my matchup, Okay. So while I wait for an opponent, we have some mild work to do. I'll check chat for a second. Skaven is the Brett counter, though. Lies! Thoughts on stacked up tall gun lines with wide gun lines? Seems like you mostly go wide 2 rows. I really enjoy going wide. I like having my guns have more room to shoot sideways into each other. Sorry. We're going to do some work for a second, but I have a bunch of messages that I don't want showing up on stream. Okay. So here we go. Let's see if anyone has already been determined. So first, participants, is any faction just represented once? I saw 2 Norskas who actually made it. I thought I heard Nurgle's only being represented once, because Cool Umbrella didn't sign up today, so isn't it Ian 0? Ian 0 is Nurgle. Are there any other Nurgles, or is Ian our faction war rep? Because was he knocked out? He must have been, because Gotrek was fighting him, and I just saw Gotrek, yeah. So Ian 0 is our Nurgle rep. That's pretty lit. Slanesh has 2 wins already with Coops. Are there any other Slaneshes? Shoxy was playing Slanesh, but they lost to Kislev. Yeah, I think Coops is our Slanesh rep. Why do I have messages? Go away! Ogre Kingdoms of Berserk beating Dark Elves and Kislev. Go Berserk, go. Kislev still has a dog in this race, as Raced also has 2-0'd. And he might be the Kislev rep at that point. Wood Elves, Dark Elves, Lizardmen. Ah, rip, Lizardmen mirror. Wood Elves, Brett Lizardmen, Zinch Beastmen. I hope Razel is the Beastman rep. I haven't seen who the other Beastman reps are before I made that statement, but like I mentioned with Chosen One, Razel is one of the original players I just loved watching so much. When he plays Beastman, it's really fun. His best of 3 final with Alfredino in the last faction war was really funny. Yeah, looks like Raced is our Kislev. I don't see any other Kislev getting that far. It's a good job, Raced. Tomb Kings and Demons of Chaos. Is Greenland our only Demons of Chaos? I think maybe. He might be. Alright, I have a lot of messages. I guess I'll go check that out real quick. Oh, Goji won. Okay. Okay. Answered a bunch of messages. Sorry, people. Black Knight, let's get this tourney pool started. Yes, Black Knight had messaged me about starting a prize pool for the faction war in general. The faction war in general does already have a prize. It is art. They'll get a piece of art done by the same artist that did my board game, worth about $150. If you're wondering what that art looked like, we do have a couple from Alfredino and the Phoenix King's previous wins. I just need to remember where I saved them. There they are. Here's Alfredino's most recent win on Tzeentch. I accidentally loaded it twice. There's Alfredino's most recent win on Tzeentch from this artist, a corrupted Bretonnian knight. And then Phoenix King's previous win on Dark Elves. So whoever wins this one gets a piece of art made by that same artist. Pop Palpatine's also playing Beastman? Yeah, he didn't check in, though. He didn't check in! I do love the Papa Palps. So let's pull up the Faction War. And I'll put that on your guys' screen. I'm just waiting for my next matchup. So we will get into that when I have my next matchup. But for now, I am filling that there time. Desktop capture. There we are. So we can fill in what we already know. We had discussed that Kislev is in fact raced. There it is. Roused. And then Greenskins is Gojira. Ian Zero is our Nurgle. Demons of Chaos is the green one. What else do we know? What else do we know? Koala. I remember Koala saying he was the only Chaos Dwarf today. I'm gonna check if that's true. Looks true. Looks true to me. Yeah. Koala is one of our two Chaos Dwarves. Koala. Skaven still undecided, because Chosen One needs to just lose, and then I can win, and then everything's good. Vampire counts. I think Salinator and Brutus have to have a tiebreaker unless there's a third vampire count that actually got a win. Ogre Kingdoms. Anybody besides Berserk getting anywhere with them? Because Berserk's gotten a lot of wins. No, Ogre Kingdoms are decided. I believe it's Berserk. It's getting risky to keep doing this on stream because I'm notorious for making mistakes. Is Gotrek the only dwarf who signed up today? Let me look for more dwarves. Gotrek is dwarves. Yeah, he's the only dwarf today, so he's fucking in. Do we wait for round 3 or just go? Just go all the time. Send me replays from top 8. I will cast top 8. But even in top 8, don't wait for me. Even for finals, don't wait for me. There's way too many people today, so just like, we're doing replays from top 8 on. Send me those. Anyway, I just determined something. But fuck, what was it? I got distracted. Slaanesh is Coops. We knew that. Ah, damn it! What did I just find out? Oh, Dwarves is Gotrek. That's right. That's right. Gotrek. Starbreaker. Oh, his name's too big. We are gonna have to downsize it. 7. 7. Lovely. This bracket's filling out. Groot has the Warriors of Chaos spot. Cool. Sir Grooty. Okay. Dun dun dun. Ooh, Bretonia might get decided here. Boina Roja has 1 win on Bretonia. Guillaume had a bye round, so he hasn't played just yet. He's playing versus Gotrek now. Then Strat was playing Brett. Elogast is playing Brett, and they have a win. Where's Strat? Hey, where's Strat on the bracket? Why am I struggling? Oh, he's still playing Mayday. Got it. Take that, Hummus. Another one. Did you win? You didn't win. You didn't win. No, you didn't. Dude, Chosen One, I have tried to stop you at every angle. I arranged it so your round 2 matchup would be Bretonia. Your round 3 matchup, if you win, is going to be Berserk on Ogre Kingdoms. So, dude, if you keep winning, it's cursed. It's cursed. I've done everything I can to stop you. I gave myself a bye round. This whole tournament has been rigged against you, and you're prevailing. Fuck! Chosen One's 2-0. I have to win 2 more to get out of it. This sucks. No! Damn it! I think Chosen One's gonna be the rep. Bwags is VP? Yeah, I don't know if there's another one. Another VP player. Alright, sorry for the delay. Guillaume and Gotrek are still going back and forth. I'll message Scroot and see if I can spectate his game. Koala versus Scroot. To get you guys some action. I messaged Koala too. Koala's actually usually really on top of answering his messages. I would spec Chosen One and Berserk because that matchup might be hype, but I think they're both EU, and if I was lagging just playing with Blood Penguin, I don't know. That feels like I could just be inviting a ton of lag into their lives. Alright, we have a lobby for Koala versus Scroot. We will get some more Total War Warhammer on your screen. Do not worry, my friends. I'll put the Photoshop away to reduce the strain on my computer. We'll get the blocker back up and let's do this. Black Knight is our high elf rep. Reliable sources are telling me. I'm also hearing that Bwags is the only VP rep, so I'll check that out while we wait in this lobby. Which, if that's true, Mild. It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't annoy me. But I've also been playing a ton of VP. No, NK Dragon Knight was playing VP. So Blags has to win a tiebreaker if he's going to be the rep. If Sabrus wins, I'm 99% chance the rep for Skaven. Nurgle's PA and Nulnish are battling it out for Norska. Yeah. You were the only corn one, Cuden? Then Cuden, you're gonna be the corn guy. Ever Chicken is the only Zinch. Cuden is the only corn, allegedly. Let us check this claim. Corn and Zinch. There's Ever Chicken. Corn and Zinch. There's Cuden on corn. And that is correct. I do not see any other corn or any other Zinch, so I'll slot those guys in here. Cuden. Ever Chicken. Someone was telling me something, but I've forgotten it now. They said Scroot was the Tomb King's rep. Are all the Tomb Kings out? I thought Golden Floof was still in, so it's early to make that judgment unless he got knocked. No, Golden Floof's still in, so I can't put Scroot as the furthest Tomb Kings yet. He's the furthest Tomb Kings currently, but Floof's still in it. Oh my god! Chosen one! Oh my god! Dude, poor Chosen One, man. His round one is balanced. Tomb King Skaven is balanced. It's fine. It's plenty fine. So besides the round one, where we got him a fine matchup, he had to fight Bretonnia, which is awful for Skaven in my opinion. You know, in my opinion, right? This is all my opinion. But he gets Brett, which is terrible for Skaven. He gets Ogre Kingdoms, which is terrible for Skaven. And then, waiting for him, if he beats the Ogre Kingdoms, he has the fucking Lizardmen, which is also bad for Skaven. And it shows that it's just... He's the fucking Doom guy. Just standing on a pile of demon corpses like, can I get a break? And so far I've had to fight Empire. I might get to fight Dwarfs. And then after that I get to fight Chaos Dwarfs or Tomb Kings. That shows it was just like, bro! Alright, I got Gotrek. Let's cast this game because we're already here. I'll message Gotrek and say just get a lobby and start making a build. I'll be there soon. But let's just cast this game. I mean, we're here. They're getting close to done with their builds, so... Okay. completely missed Floof. Rocket, interesting you apologize to Scroot for forgetting that Golden Floof existed. Usually I don't. Usually I would apologize to Golden Floof for forgetting that he existed. Lenorm competing? No, he didn't. He didn't sign up. All that manually reshuffling definitely turned out well for you. Oh, easy. I mean, I could have faced Bretonnia, and I could have faced Dark Elves, which are two matchups I hate, but Gotrek and Blood Penguin saved me. Razel is Beastmen? Are all other Beastmen out? Just making sure we double check that all other Beastmen are out. Because Razel got pretty darn far. But yeah, I think you're correct. I don't see any of the Beastmen still alive. Tomb Kings, Chaos Dwarfs have a 0 gold spend, so they're done. Tomb Kings are shuffling around their last 100 gold into chevrons, so we'll be getting into it shortly. Don't you worry. Razel is our Beastmen player. Reprising his role. And there's currently a Wood Elf mirror to decide the Wood Elf player. I think all their Wood Elves are out. And his Butcherbird looks like he has prevailed over Ronan. Don't like Chaos Dwarf lore, but I think they're fun to watch. They're very fun. They're very fun to watch. Players are ready. Let's get into this. And then right after that... Bird, DM me if you don't want Butcherbird to be your name on the bracket, by the way. Because that's what I know you as, but you change your Discord name around a bunch, so I don't know what you actually want. Just an FYI. Give me a break, you rat. Yeah. We'll have 2 games back-to-back. This is the last qualifier? Yes. I always have one in the NA time zone and one in the EU. This is the EU one. But, we'll have 2 games back-to-back because Gotrek Starbreaker has made a lobby, and he's making a build. I know what the Skaven build into Dwarves is, so I can build it very quickly. We'll have 2 games back-to-back. Thank you for your patience in this last little awkward delay we had. Zegzi is in the quarterfinal, so is Butcherbird. I know Bird's in the chat. Zegzi usually is. So if either of you are listening, remember, I'm casting top 8. Send me replays. Once you get your opponent, feel free to start, but send me those goddamn replays. The Friday night one, I had to chase them down, and that actually does irritate me a little bit. So if you're in top 8, send me the replays. But don't wait for me, both to prevent lag and to keep this running smoothly so people can get on with their days. Especially Butcherbird told me he had a time constraint today, so don't want to keep him waiting for the stream or anything, but give me the goddamn replay. All right, for the builds, Chaos Dwarfs are straightforward. It is Chaos Dwarf Warrior line rush plus 2 Infernal Ironsworn with those fire blasting charges with really high missile strength. We've seen them actually take out a Cathay front line for JMG the other day, so they will certainly deal with the Tomb King's front line, though there are only 2 of them. 2 Bull Centaur Rangers are great weapons. This is Koala's iconic unit. He always takes them. And then we have a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire with just Burning Head, 2 Hobgoblin Wolf Riders with Spears in the Vanguard up on some trees. For Central Scrutinizer, we have 4 Ushopti Great Bows, one of which is the Chosen of the Gods. We have a single Sporkle Stalker, it is the Eyes of the Desert, and then Nehekar Warriors and Skeleton Warriors in the front line. Arkan the Black and some Skeleton Horsemen in the backfield, and Arkan does have Spirit Leech and Fate of Yuna. Sorry, I got some messages. Can we break 100? We'll never break 100. Chosen of the Gods are wrecking Infernal Ironsworn, giving them the Shield Breaker trait. That does make them a little less tanky against that ranged fire coming in. Taking their shields down to a bronze shield rather than silver. They're taking big damage. Though, this matchup tends to look this way at the very start because your Shopti, Sprockle Stalkers, Screaming Skull Catapults, Bone Giants, whatever you bring to shoot at the Chaos Dwarves are going to get a lot of damage out. It's once the grind starts, the Chaos Dwarves really come back in the game, especially on the Cavalry front. We already have one Hobgoblin Wolf Rider running away, but they have killed a Skeleton Horseman in trade. They are fighting on top of Skeleton Spears, which is not going to work out, but the Bull Centaur Renders are plenty happy to take this fight, charging in, getting some decent shots on the Skeleton Horsemen. Blasting charges are here, though a Burning Head is going to kill off the Skeleton Warriors that are in range of this blasting charge, and I do mean kill off, as it almost takes them out entirely. And does it curve back into the other ones? No, it just kind of tickles them, and then it goes after the Chosen of the Gods. Elsewhere, the Chaos Dwarf Warriors are in the fight, and Infernal Ironsworn looking to throw their blasting charges, hopefully at the Nehekara Warriors. That would be a better target for them. Blasting charges did throw those other Nehekara Warriors. They did okay damage, but the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire is taking a ton of damage right now. And his heal is already on cooldown, so he has quite a while before he gets any more healing. Sitting above the Sprockle Stalkers and one of the Ushapti Great Bows, he's taking a lot of damage. He's starting to run away now. But that is tough. That is a real tough start for the Chaos Dwarves. Front line of the Tomb Kings is suffering quite a lot of damage, which means the back line of the Tomb Kings is going to be spending most of their game running away. These Bull Centaur Renders are already back there. Other Bull Centaur Renders are trying to stop these guys. The Sorcerer Prophet of Fire should be back soon. He has plenty of leadership. He'll be right as rain. It's just whether or not he can get heals from Arkan. Like that. Wait, no, not like that. He's still on cooldown. Bull Centaur Renders getting Spirit Leeched and shot and meleeed by Skeleton Horsemen, taking a lot of damage. We'll see how long their leadership holds, as they're currently... I don't know what they're attacking. There's a lot of units in this pile-up, so I'm just kind of watching the health bars and seeing what starts going down. Bull Centaur Renders fighting on top of Nehekara Warriors, fighting next to Sprockle Stalkers, not enjoying any of it, and then Arkan even chucks a summon in front of him just for an extra FU. And the Chaos Dwarf front line is still beating the Tomb King's front line, but it might be taking them a little too long. We have some Hobgoblin Wolf Riders that appear to be forgotten in the backfield, and that is definitely costly on the Tomb Kings, well, on the Chaos Dwarf side. It's great for the Tomb Kings. They love that. Big Burning Head through one of the Skeleton Spearmen that's harassing the Bull Centaur Renders. Ushapti Summon is out from the Tomb Kings. They are up almost 3-1 on damage value, which is a very good start for them, and I definitely think that they're up in this game. This is a little more than the usual, like, well, ranged faction's going to lead in the start, and then they'll start to fall slowly behind. This is, like, quite good territory. Sorcerer Prophet of Fire is healing up while he's getting Spirit Leech. That's kind of a net neutral, but getting shot by two Shopti Great Bows at the same time is not going well for him. It looks like he is going to rout for the second time. No, he manages to rally for now. Oh, big chunk of damage. He might actually just die. And if he dies, the game is probably over. Sprockle Stalkers are under attack by the Bull Centaur Renders, but they're just too low. Like, the Bull Centaur Renders are going to rout off, so the Hobgoblin Wolf Riders. The Lord is dead. That is GG. Tomb Kings will move on, despite the valiant efforts of the Chaos Dwarf Warriors. Are you crazy, or does the game flag not look at all like the top screen? You are right. For some reason, we have a black and red flag for the Chaos Dwarf Warriors, but their actual flag should be blue and red. So I don't know what that's about. There's a Spirit Leech. Army losses hits. And do not weep for the Chaos Dwarves, as their representative, Koala Duck, has qualified for the faction war. It is a silver lining on that defeat. Tomb Kings, played by Scroot, also qualified for the faction war, as their other competition, Golden Floof, has fallen. Hovering over the values quick, but I have a game I need to get to. Our dwarf player, Gotrek, has been waiting patiently for me, and I appreciate that. Karazakrak's Arena, I imagine that's him. I won't even put the blocker up because he probably has a build ready, and he also should know by this point what my build is. Yeah, he should know what my build is at this point. Skaven! Ooh, it's a small map, though. That could work in his favor, just a little bit. So we have Snitch. That means I need a Warlock Engineer. Caster with Howling Warp Gale and Warp Lightning. Warp Stone Armor too for a little bit of that. Skaven Slave frontline because blasting charges are going to go burr. Some Death Runners because they cleave dwarves like nobody's business. This is a faction war. And Chosen One is still in it, so I do need to super sweaty try hard. So I have 4 Poison Globes. On a map this small, I would normally... On a map bigger, I would normally go 3 or 4 Jezzails, but on a map this small, I am going to bypass it. Rat Ogres are useless against Slayers, and Archers do a lot of damage to them, so I'm just going to skip that entirely. A Doom Wheel can be okay here. Death Runners deal with infantry. Skaven Slaves to try and eat the blasting charges. I have 4 globes. What about Gyrocopters without Jezzails? Gyrocopters without Jezzails available to me. Now that is a little tricky. And again, I can take the Jezzails. It's just like the map's so small that he could have Rangers in the Vanguard, and then my Jezzails are going to get shot. That's going to be bad. I could do Rattling Guns, but Rattling Guns are going to be useless if he didn't bring any Gyrocopters. I could do 1 Jezzail and then 2 360 shooting Night Runners and just put the 360 shooting Night Runners directly beneath the Gyrocopters if I need it. That could be. It's interesting that the map is affecting this much. Because it actually does feel, I'm just like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do about this map. I'm going to take the Warpstone Armor off of my Warlock Engineer. The Mortis Engine just isn't that important. Versus Dwarves. Because I already have a ton of crowd clearing. I could cut the Wheels of Doom and just get a regular Doom Wheel. Oh, it's so expensive though. Actually, yeah, fuck that. I'm just not taking a Doom Wheel. You can have 1 Jezzail. Natty Booba Sharpshooters, at least they're invisible. Because then his Bugman's Rangers will have a harder time seeing me. Could get some dogs to run off Bugman's Rangers and mind his blast charges. Could get some Rat Ogres to run off the same exact people. And then 2 more Skaven Slaves. Yeah, that's looking a little better than 1 Wheels of Doom. Okay, let's go. This is a 100% serious build. It is just shifted because the map is so small. $110 viewers for 69 minutes streaming. 69, nice. Watch him go full gyro against my only Jezzail. He was readied up for the entire time I was making my build, so he definitely did not cheat. Whatever build we run into is the build he prepared before we arrived. Alright. Snitch is good in this matchup. He is. His net Deathmaster Sigil is a really good armor-piercing nuke, and so is his World Weeping Blades. So I have 2 different abilities on Snitch to take out dwarf characters, and then he is a really good duelist against whatever dwarf lord they bring. Warlock Engineer, I need Howling Warp Gale for Gyrocopters to get them to sit still, and then Warp Lightning can punish more blobs, which is why I didn't take the Mortis Engine on him, because I have 3 different armor-piercing blob punishment things, and then I have 3 Death Runners and 4 Poison Globes. I really didn't need any more crowd clearing. If this comes down to whether or not my Warlock Engineer had the Mortis Engine, I horrifically fucked up beyond all repair, and that's just on me. We do have 4 Poison Globes because we are try-harding. They're quite good against dwarves with their armor-piercing damage, but also dwarves are too slow to catch them, so you can kind of kite a bit. I do have 2 Wolf Rats to run down Rangers or whatever, 2 Rat Ogres to also run down Rangers. I'm mostly worried about Rangers being behind me or something with those units, because Slayers will wreck the shit out of my Rat Ogres, and the dogs have poor armor-piercing. But I needed something to counteract Rangers, because this map is small and has really good Vanguard deployment. So Rangers or Miners with blasting charges being either behind me or like right here is a real concern. I have 1 Jezzail. It is the stocked Jezzail. I'm going to turn Fire at Will off because I don't want them to reveal their position shooting at random shit until I know what's going on. Where, like, if, you know, there's Miners with blasting charges here and then 3 flame cannons, I don't want these guys to show up, shoot the Miners, and then the flame cannons all gat them to death. So I just need them to chill out and only shoot when I tell them to shoot. I will pair up dogs and rat ogre teams as a bit of mobility, and let's give this a shot! Ah, I'm not a total fool! Alright, Snitch and the Warlock Engineer, go back here. You guys turn around. Giselle starts shooting at Thorgrim. And then this front line can advance. My Death Runners can come back with me. And help me clear out all of this chaff with Snitch and the Warlock Engineer's help. My Globes should be able to handle the front line relatively well. We'll send Skaven slaves to muck up their heroes and whatnot. Giselles are just going to try and punish Thorgrim for as long as we can. Because I don't have any cannons or anything actually worth shooting here. Warp Lightning on the grouped up guys. I want to get Snitch into the middle of like a really good pocket of guys. These guys are so close to broken though that I don't want to use it on them. Come on. That's a good dive. Let's do it. Just spin. Not as much damage as I should have. I should have waited. I should have waited more, but I got impatient. Alright, we're starting to kite around as best we can. Might need Slayers to do some stuff over here. Nah, Giselles are doing good damage to Thorgrim. Let's just keep doing that. I have another Warp Lightning up. Let's use it on this clumped up pile of people. And then we'll get dogs over there, Death Runners over here. You guys sweep this up. I'm gonna get my Warlock Engineer out of here. Death Runners killed off that entirely. Death Runners killed off that entirely. So, cool. My globes got caught because I'm dumb. Oh, my globes got caught because I'm dumb. Alright, we routed almost everything. Everybody come with me. And we'll let... Actually, the Rators don't even have to chase that. Everything's shattered. Gisele's still trying to kill Thorgrim. Snitch can help with this. Skaven Slaves did okay. Bugman's Rangers and his rune... Oh, he has double Runesmith. Interesting. I thought that was double Thane, because he's kind of notorious for double Thane. He's double Runesmith. Alright. I'll pop my invisibility. You two can go here. Globes, don't throw there. Just don't throw there, actually. Giselles are going to try and finish off Thorgrim, so I don't have to fight him, because I don't want to fight him. Okay. Thorgrim's dead. We're very ahead. Wolf rats are wolfing and ratting. Death Runners have gotten to the front line. Without blasting charges, my Death Runners fear nothing. Nothing! Giselles can shoot at that Runesmith while my dogs try and walk past it. My globes are getting a little risky because I honestly don't want them to throw at my own dogs. Death Runners can pile in on that. Rat Ogre can fuck off. Snitch, Redemption Arc. Get in there. Big dive. No. That's more of what I wanted out of that first cast. That's more of what I wanted out of the first cast. Deletes an entire fucking unit. And then I want to net that guy so that he can't dodge my Giselles. I'll just net him in place. Ooh, Snitch might have to go finish him off though because my Giselles are about to get compromised. All three of you kill that Bugman's Ranger. Bounce power shifting into Army Losses territory. And that is why the cursed matchup is cursed. But Gotrek Starbreaker is our dwarf representative. He's a fucking Chad for bringing Thorgrim double Runesmith. It is a terrible matchup. He played it completely fine. It is just terrible. I have to fight Scroot on the Tomb Kings. My luck continues, as Berserk did beat Chosen One. So where are we at? Chosen One went 2-1 on the day. I've gone 2-0. If Scroot beats me, Chosen One is in the faction war. If I beat Scroot, I'm in. If anybody cares, here is the bracket while I find Scroot. Our quarterfinals, we will cast every game from this top 8. So Scroot versus me will cast live, obviously, because I'll be playing it in front of you. Berserk and Zegzi, Ogre Kingdoms versus Lizardmen. They should send me a replay. Send me a replay. Send me a goddamn replay. Butcherbird versus Blank. We'll find out when we know who Blank is. And then Blank versus Blank. We'll find out when we know who either of Blank is. Oi! Alright. Let's go fight Scroot. I have messages. So that still 3 lizards left? Yeah. That is what it is. $65. Looking forward to another year of making stream content. $10 for making the Dow, your little bitches, woohoo. McRightface, is that for the Faction War prize pool, or is that for me specifically? Because Black Knight started a prize pool. Whose Brett did he beat? He beat Kiyama. Chosen One did get done dirty. Chosen One got done dirty. He's not out of it yet, though. If Scroot beats me in this matchup, I could get murdered. This is either, in my experience, a slightly Skaven favored matchup, or in global experience, 50-50. I have a build, though, that a lot of people don't take that is quite successful against Tomb Kings. I'm not going to put the blocker up because I took this build Friday, so anybody who has been paying attention knows exactly what I bring here. You know what? No, I'm going to put the blocker up. You know what? I'll do it justice, because I know if I lose that I didn't put the blocker up, I'm going to be like, this bitch, he fucking cheated. He knew what I was going to bring. Even though I take the same thing on stream every time. Oh, okay, he already read it up. Cool. Now I don't have to. Yeah, so I really like this. I take a mix of Plague Monks and Skaven Slaves in the front line, because the Plague Monks will beat anything the Tomb Kings bring. And then Skaven Slaves will trade about even with Skeletons, because Skeletons just don't do that much damage. So that can give me a winning front line. I'm blanking on some of the other stuff I brought, though. What did I bring? Did I bring dogs? Do I bring dogs here? I have Skrull, because he's good against Tomb Kings. Do I bring dogs here? I know I have 2 Warp Lightning Cannons. I have globes. Where does the rest of my money go? Wait. Wait, where the fuck did my money go? Hold on. I actually have to go back to Friday's stream. I have to copy my own build because I'm legitimately forgetting what I brought. How? How am I forgetting my own build? I've taken it like 100 times. 1 Giselle. 3 Plague Monks. 4 Rat Ogres. Skrulk. 4 Skaven Slaves. 2 Skaven Slave Spears. Okay, yeah, that's the build. I cheated. I had to copy my own homework. Hey, Ronan. It's for you being the best streamer on this channel. Woo! Best streamer on my own channel! Thanks, McRightface. Perhaps the archives are incomplete. Yeah. So it's a good build. I have 1... I remember now why I have 1 Giselle. I have 1 Giselle in case of double Bone Giant. Double Bone Giant will outshoot double Warp Lightning Cannon. So then my Giselle can move up and at least be a part of the game. But if you went all Giselles, Arkin the Black with Fate of Buna, or the Chosen of the Gods, Ushabti Greatbows. The Chosen of the Gods can wreck Warp Black Giselles in like 2 volleys. So I didn't want to go with all of one type. Either all Warp Lightning Cannons and hope he doesn't have as many Bone Giants as I have Warp Lightning Cannons. Or I didn't want to go all Giselles and hope he doesn't have Fate of Buna and the Ushabti Greatbow RR. So it's nice to mix them, so at least you have some ranged pressure. Because what can happen in this matchup, and why I need ranged pressure, is you can get Bone Giant kited. That's a real thing. It happened to me a lot in Warhammer 2, but like, if you don't have shooting pressure, if you don't have the shooting advantage, and you just have globes in a front line, Bone Giants can walk away from you, and then Tomb King's Chariots with like Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna spam from Arkin, and Carrion and Nakar Horseman and stuff, they can kite you around the map and you can't catch up to them. And then there's a lot of terror for you to deal with, and it's just kind of spooky. So you don't want to let that happen. I was setting up my front line kind of mindlessly. I have 2 spears to keep them on that. I have Plague Monks in my front line, but I need to stagger them so that globes are not directly behind Plague Monks, so they don't nuke my own Plague Monks. Where do I want to put my 3rd one? Here's what we'll do. Widen out my front line a little bit. Then we have 4 Rat Ogres in case of Chariot spam or Ushabti melee variant. And then Lord Skrulk is a good caster. And he can get Spirit Leeched by Arkin. He has no regen. He doesn't have a particularly large health pool. But the main problem for him would be if we go into a super, super late game and he gets Spirit Leeched a ton by Arkin the Black. That'll be a problem. But with this type of build, I don't really want the game to go super long. So I feel like, same with the Warlock Engineer from last game. If we get into the late game territory, my build has other problems. And we're probably losing anyway. It's probably not... if Arkin hadn't kept Spirit Leeching my Lord, it's like, I don't know. If we go into the late game, my Skaven leadership's going to start faltering. I imagine most of my weapons teams will be shut down. So, it's not great. Alright, it is melee Ushabti Rush, so immediately my Warp Lightning Cannons have to start taxing some of those Ushabti. It's foot Arkin, so my Warp Lightning Cannons can't really do much about that. I'm going to keep 1 Rat Ogre in the back line to help deal with these Carrion. My Giselles are also going to start taxing down the Ushabti. But this will be my backline Rat Ogre. Let's keep advancing. Okay. These Ushabti are going to be annoying for me. So, we will have Plague Monks fight on their own. Globes try and throw past the Plague Monks or try and support other fights, but I don't want to nuke my own Plague Monks. It's not really good for me. Rat Ogres will start getting on top of Ushabti and Sepulchral Stalkers. We're here, so let's do this. And I'm also going to Liber Bubonicus the Ushabti. I could do Arkin, but the problem with that is if you don't kill Arkin, he's going to get all 3 tiers of the Tomb King's army abilities and heal off your damage. So you usually want to throw Liber Bubonicus on something you actually intend to kill. I'm going to use one of Skrulk's summons to get past the front line and start harassing those archers down a little bit. My globes are throwing onto Sepulchral Stalkers, which is a great target for them, but also throwing past anything. Carrion, 1 Carrion, this is great for me actually. 1 Carrion is not harassing my backline, so that means my Rat Ogres can go countercharge whichever one does harass my backline. The other Carrion is harassing my front line. The really annoying thing for him to do would have been to have both of his Carrion go for my backline. Since I only had 1 Rat Ogre defending there, it would have been a bit more monstrous for me. Ushabti are taking a lot of damage, so that's going amazingly well for us. I'm going to use a second summon out once again to harass archers. Need to stop those guys from throwing. And one of the Ushabti is out of the game. It looks like my Rat Ogre might be following suit. Here comes the second Carrion, and that is a problem. Ah, fuck, and there's the Ushabti summon. Okay, so we'll fall back from that. I'll use my backline peeling Rat Ogres to get in the way of the Ushabti summon, and this backline peeling Rat Ogre is just going to follow the Carrion onto their next target. Or Lightning Cannon still shooting at Ushabti, who are just about dead. Let's flip them onto Sepulchral Stalkers. These globes, throw guard mode on and try and throw over there. Giselles are trying to peel Ushabti off of my other guys. I'm going to send some Skaven Slave Spears over there, too. Rat Ogres can try and block up these ones. Skrulk is having a bit of a bad time. I forgot my summon! Shit! Damn it, I summoned them and never gave them orders. Oh, yeah, I hate to fucking see it. Oh, it sucks being a trash player, but that's who I am. Another summon that I will not forget this time. Summon, 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 summon. Do not forget the summon. Warp Lightning Cannon is back online. Let's fire at these Sepulchral Stalkers. They're getting bombed by things. Summon, summon, summon. Didn't go off, so that one's not my fault. Summon, 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 summon. Carrion are still attacking my poor little Poison Globes. I'll try to throw guard mode on and get them to throw one last desperate volley over there. Summon is out. Go onto those. Stand your ground. And I do have a pretty good Rod of Corruption. 3, 2, 1, go. So we're feeling good. We're feeling good. There's a Ushabti summon that is out. Both my Warp Lightning Cannons are still very much online. My troops are coming back to the fight. Plaguelings still have a decent amount of HP. We still have Globes. We have lost our Jezzails, but they have enough HP. They should be returning to the fight soon. Liber Bubonicus. I will start throwing it on Arkin, because I know they use their Tier 3 Tomb King's army ability, so I know he has no more healing left in the game, and now it's going to start sticking. Skrulk might die, but I'm far enough ahead at this point that that's actually not a deal breaker. Warp Lightning Cannons don't have any great targets left, as most things that are large have been killed. I know I could shoot at Arkin, but just saying, it's not actually super important. I'll have one Rat Ogre deal with these skeleton summons. The other Rat Ogre is going to go try and at least make him pay for diving onto my thingamajig. We have Globes back. We can go harass this. Clan Rat Summon is gone. Skrulk is gone. That's a problem, but it's an expected problem, right? No one's shocked. Okay, so we need to go get this thing. Skrulk is routing, but not dead. And now the Warp Lightning Cannons have literally no good targets, so let's start firing at Arkin, put him on blast. And Rat Ogres are going to start acting like dog units here pretty soon. There we go. So now my Rat Ogres are just going to chase... Rat Ogres will just chase archers around. And I'm going to leave something special up to chat. I'm going to leave something special up to chat. The 128 of you hold Chosen One's fate in your hands, ladies and gentlemen, because I do have a conundrum. And this conundrum can be solved by you, my dear friends. At this point, the game is over, so I'm going to stop paying attention and hope that works out for me, because that's a skeleton summon. Honestly, as soon as that skeleton warrior summon fades, the game is over. But you, chat, Chosen One, beloved Chosen One, hero of the people Chosen One, got dicked by the fates. But you can save him if you want to. Because, if you take a look-see here, we already have a Grand Cathay player in our top 8. Anti-Kaiju. He qualified last night in the extras slot. No one signed up for Grand Cathay today. And I myself, as a caster, am perfectly fine with only having one fucking Grand Cathay in the faction war. So you, my dear fans, now have a vote. Should I give Anti-Kaiju the main Grand Cathay slot and give Chosen One the mercenary slot for Skaven? Or be more technically correct and seek out a good Grand Cathay player and just offer them the spot? It is up to you, dear chat. Would you like a second Skaven or a second Grand Cathay? Because my boy Chosen One, he's one of my goddamn favorites, and I'm happy to Skaven cheat on his behalf. And 2, this man had the worst bracket I've ever seen. Britonia, Ogres, possibly Lizardmen if he beat the Ogres. That shit's impossible. And he did way better than I would have. Well, I got Empire, Skaven favored, Dwarves, Skaven favored, and Tomb Kings even or Skaven favored. So I do feel a little bad. Can the masses save Chosen One? Kaiju's been grinding. Kaiju earned it 100%. This is only happening because no one played Grand Cathay today, and I already had a backup Grand Cathay. Okay, all my bots have voted, so now it's up to you, the people. I threw my weight in. 40 of those 45 votes are you boy. Are you boy. Well, Hummus hasn't lost yet? Yeah, I just qualified for the main slot. But we do have the mercenary slot. And we don't have a Grand Cathay player at all. So while you vote, if you're wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, let's get this up here. So if you're wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, we have this slot right here. That was supposed to be qualified today, but literally no one picked Grand Cathay. We have Anti-Kaiju who qualified as a mercenary, but what I'm gonna propose we do is move Kaiju from being a mercenary to just being our Grand Cathay. So nothing happens to Kaiju. He still just plays Cathay in the faction war. And then if chat wants it, we can slap a second Skaven rep and go Chosen One. Because he faced impossible odds. And because he's a fan favorite. And because everybody loves Skaven. Everybody loves Skaven. But at this point, this is decided. This spot belongs to the Hummus Boy. 84-16. Do we have any Nurgle games lined up? I don't believe so. Ian Zero was the only one who played them and he lost. I want him out. The compromise is, yes, a second Skaven slot, but not Chosen One. I hit up somebody else completely random. Like, there's a second Skaven slot, and Chosen One's like, oh, that's so nice. Thank you, chat. And I'm like, Father Ram, my boy. You didn't even sign up today, but I know you play Skaven, and Chosen One's just like, what the fuck? You do it like this? That's funny. I will leave the vote up until the end of the next replay. I do have a replay from Berserk and Zegzi, which is one of our quarterfinals, so we'll get on with that. We will actually start covering the games that matter to you, the people. Now, if you care about the bracket, there's no spoilers that is coming up, so I have carefully positioned the screen. We have Raced versus Lizardmen of Maydave, so Raced Kislev versus Maydav's Lizardmen. We will cast that when I get the replay. And Butcherbird is still awaiting the winner of Imric versus MTK's Turin. I wonder what is going on up there. Butcherbird, if you end up having to go, because you told me ahead of time you might have time constraints, if you end up having to go, if you could message Imric or Turin, whichever of them wins, and tell them to send me their replay, so I at least get to cast a game. But if you have to go, that's fine. You've already qualified for the Wood Elf spot, and you told me ahead of time you had a time constraint. But I would ask that you facilitate that replay getting to me, just because I'm obviously going to be casting. Okay. So let's do this shit. I don't need the blocker for a replay, but I'll leave it up anyway. I received the replay from both players. I saved the first one that came in, so I actually don't know who wins. I saw that the bracket had been updated, but I honestly didn't look at who it updated. So, oh, and I have to fight whoever wins this. Oh god, it's Ogre King of Lizardmen. Okay. I don't know who I want to win. No. I don't want to fight either of them. Okay. What do we got? For the Lizardmen, we have a boxy box. Interesting. Skink Skirmishers, a Life Slan, double Stegodon. Oh. Double Bow Stags. Not the machine gun stags, they're the artillery variant. Then we have Saurus Spears, Feral Cold Ones, and then the Colossadon Hunters off in the distance. On the other side, for the Ogre Kingdoms, we have Noblars, Scrap Launcher Kite. Just one? Oh, just one Scrap Launcher. Some Mandy Pistols, some Lead Belchers, Scrag the Slaughterer with Brain Goblet and Troll Guts, and then we have some Crushers with Great Weapons, Iron Guts, Ogre Bulls, and Crushers with Great Weapons. One Scrap Launcher. I never see this. I almost always see 2 Scrap Launchers, or they don't bother. I'm getting a lot of messages right now. Sorry. I have to pause the replay. I know people hate that, but actually an important thing came up. There are 4 Brett players still in turn 2. Which one passes? Oh, shit. There's a 4-way tie for Brett? Triple equality in the round, but he's 1-1. The other 2 are 0-1. Guillaume... Sorry, tournament business. Told me there were 4 Brett tied. Rocket, can you take lead on this? I trust whatever you decide. So while I stream, if my mod says yes, which he usually does, but he can technically say no, I have appointed one of my mods to just deal with the Bretonia situation, and I trust whatever he decides on that matter. Alright, so the double bow stags are trying to fire back, and they're currently taking their time to shoot at Iron Guts. It looks like they're just going to ignore the Scrap Launcher for the most part. I don't hate that. The Lizardman build isn't particularly weak to the Scrap Launcher. The Saurus Warriors are very spread out, so even if it throws at them, they're going to be largely okay with it. They'll take some damage, but they'll be largely okay with it. Bow stags are more concerned with taking models off of some of these more imposing, not impeding, don't know why I said that really stupidly. Imposing units, like Lead Belchers, could be a bit of a problem in the late game. Colossadon Hunters might have gotten a little over-aggressive here as they started to land on the Scrap Launcher, but immediately have to fly away. The Crushers catch a couple, though these are not the Sky Striders. The Sky Striders have that Frostbite applied, which would catch the Colossadon Hunters even better. It looks like the Colossadon Hunters actually did get up into the sky, and those bow stags are continuing to harass the Ogre Kingdoms, forcing them to come deal with the Lizardman box or get wrecked. FFA. I'd cast that replay. A 4-way Brett FFA. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, I'll just leave it to my mod. Unless he says he doesn't want to deal with it, then that's fine too. Colossadon Hunter's going to dive on the Man-Eaters, though Man-Eaters shoot them with a lot of damage on the way down, and then we have the Crusher rear charge, and the Man-Eaters are no slouches in melee combat. I think we have to say goodbye to the Colossadon Hunters, you guys. One gets up into the air. He sees the doom coming, and he abandons ship. What? How are you guys just flying out of melee? What the fuck is that? What is that? How did he... And then they just land anyway. Okay, I don't know what's going on in this backfield. I don't know what's going on. Colossadon Hunters are dead. They get sandwiched in and fucked up. Some of them just flew out of melee because reasons. And that's fine. And that's fine. Anyway, the Lizardmen main box is taking a bit more damage. Some Saurus Warriors have not had a good time dealing with Lead Belchers. Looks like the double bow stags. Oh wow, you guys do not have a lot of ammo, do you? You have ripped through your ammunition. Slan, Mage Priest of Life, was casting something, it looked like. Blood Statue of Spite onto the Ogre Bulls to cast whatever spell he was casting. Cancel whatever spell he was casting. Flesh to Stone trying to save those Saurus Spears. The loss of the Colossadon Hunters is pretty huge. That's a huge value play for the Ogre Kingdoms. And their Crushers, yeah, their Crushers are getting a Troll Gut, so there's not even going to be a trade of damage in the back line. Like, they're mostly going to heal it up just fine. So far it's been a trade of the Colossadon Hunters and most of a Saurus Spear for half of an Ogre Bull, half of a Lead Belcher, and some Winds of Magic on Troll Guts. So far, pretty good start for the Ogre Kingdoms. I imagine soon we're going to see the Saurus Spears get engaged with Noblars, and then the Crushers and Ogre Bulls and stuff charge in after that. But, ooh, the Crushers are overextending entirely on their own. But they plow through the Saurus, who apparently weren't braced just yet, so I guess that works, but that was really strange looking. As the Iron Guts also filter in to try and help out, the Saurus Spears lost half their health, and the Crushers are just going to waddle away like, oops, sorry, we didn't realize where we were, we're leaving now, didn't mean to inconvenience you. As they fall back, more Crushers are moving up, Lead Belchers are continuing to fire in, though the Lead Belchers are currently shooting at Skink Skirmishers, which I wonder if that's even worth their time. As these Crushers tried to do what their brothers did, and it did not nearly work out as good. They get stopped right on these Saurus Spears, and they're taking a ton of damage for their time. They're going to back off now. Slann has thrown out another Flesh of Stone. These Iron Guts are getting ripped apart by the armor-piercing Feral Cold Ones, and then the Anti-Large with the Saurus Spears. Noblars are trying to help, but they are a big nothing as Stegodons roll through and start terror routing everything. A mass rout comes in from the Ogre Kingdoms as the Stegodons make their presence very much known. And now Sky Striders, I'm so used to saying that, Crushers with great weapons, are opting in because they want to fight the Stegodons, but unfortunately they get caught up on Spears. They don't get the fight that they want. Scrap Launcher's still firing in, Lead Belcher's still firing in. The Maneater Pistols are now moving up, probably to just start poking down those Stegodons. Probably. As currently they're ripping shots into their own Crushers. I know they're shooting at other stuff, but they've honestly only hit their Crushers at this point. Another Troll Guts from the Ogre Kingdoms, and Scrag is trying to heal up these Crushers. I thought. Wait, where did it go? There it is. It's on the Iron Guts? Oh, no. Was that a misclick? Did he mean to have an overcasted Troll Guts on some random-ass Iron Guts while both of his Crushers are half HP? Oof, that's brutal. Ogre Bulls in the back line, dealing with Feral Cold Ones and getting poked by little darts, shot by a Stegodon, slammed by Spears. They are not enjoying that whatsoever. Things are getting a little brutal here for the Ogre Kingdoms. Bounce Power's back to about half. Scrap Launcher only has 5 volleys left. Lead Belchers have a lot of ammunition. 9 out of 16 models, just above half damage potential. Feral Cold Ones get isolated and killed by those Crushers, though there are a lot of Saurus Spears nearby that want a piece of this action. Looks like Lead Belchers are moving up to get a nice close-range shot on these Saurus Spears, and that would do a lot of damage. Crushers and Ogre Bulls trying to fight it out, but a Blood Statue of Spite plus a metric shit ton of Spears does discourage this activity, and the Lead Belchers are actually going to turn and try and deal with this blob of Saurus Spears rather than the one around Scrag. Lead Belchers firing in, getting good damage. They're more of a shotgun troop. Despite the fact their range goes for quite a while, they get increasingly less accurate as the range goes on, so they're much better at shooting something up close and personal like this. Scrag and his Crushers are trying to kill off the Saurus Spears. They're getting close to the terror point, but the Crushers themselves do not actually cause terrors. There's nothing here that really deals with that. Both Bowstags running out of ammunition. 1 shot here, 4 shots there as they continue to harass the Lead Belchers, who are down to half of their models. Iron Guts and Crushers returning with their heal caps well within sight. The other Crusher is also running away. Gonna get a good rear charge with some unbraced Saurus Spears that might honestly rout them off as the Crushers do beautiful damage despite their diminished status. And we do still have a close game on our hands. Scrag does better than most Ogre characters against all these infantry. He does have bonus versus infantry and heavy armor piercing. But he's doing alright. Sun Tzu League will be doing an FFF tournament in February. That sounds hype. Be sure to check out our Discord or wherever he is going to post that. Crushers are back in over here. I missed that for a second. They're fighting the Stegodon. Got about half HP off of it, and the Bounce of Power is still dead even at this point in the game as the Ogres are spamming out all the healing they can onto their Crushers. Lead Belchers still firing into these Skink Skirmishers and any blob they can find. Iron Guts doing okay. And the Maneater Pistols still have 10 ammunition. There's a lot of love for them left to offer. They can do a lot of damage. I do like that Berserk's ignoring the Life Slan. I've made this mistake too sometimes, but like, you just need to either focus all your fire on the Slan and kill it, or ignore it entirely. If you poke at the Slan, then he's just going to heal himself up, and things that actually deal damage to you are going to, prevail. Ogre Bulls still trying to hit these Skink Skirmishers, but the Stegodon's running around, peeling them off. 2 ammunition on one, 0 on the other, so this Stegodon is now officially just a melee Steg. Bounce of Power, 9 minutes into this game, still dead even, as the Maneaters continue to fire. They are shooting at large targets, which is good. They should not waste any of their time on Skink Skirmishers. That's not worth the man-eater pistols. Lead belchers, I would still debate they shouldn't be shooting at skink skirmishers and should instead only shoot at Saurus, but that's debatable. Man-eater pistols is definitely not worth shooting at skink skirmishers. Scrap launcher moves back up. He has 2 volleys left. The Ogre is still piling through some stuff as another Flesh to Stone tries to keep these Saurus Spears active in the game. And more Ogre Bulls are returning. They can get some really good charge damage on the skink skirmishers. And Scrag's still very healthy, has really good armor-piercing stats, and he is ready to fight himself a Stegodon, even though it's not infantry-sized. Crushers are terror routing away. Scrap Launcher with 1 volley left is starting to move in as a melee chariot. Man-eater pistols also routing off all these skink skirmishers, but the balance power starts turning against the Ogre Kingdoms as their Crushers have mostly been pushed away. I only see 1 on my screen right now, this one with 4 models. I'm searching for the other one. There it is. It's almost off the map. And Scrag is getting a bit of help. He is going to heal the Crushers with the last of his Winds of Magic, probably, unless it's a Butcher. No, that is a Troll Guts. So it's the last of his Winds of Magic. The Crushers are back in. They just terror routed, so they can't terror route again for just a little bit here. They can naturally route, however. And oh boy, that's coming in. Coming in hot. Stegodon's still healthy with the Slans. Scrag's trying to cycle charge them, which is a funny sight to see. Man-eater pistols avoiding the Saurus Spears while routing off all of the skink skirmishers. And it is quickly coming down to the dregs of Saurus. And then the 3 single entities for the Lizardmen versus the rest of the Ogre Kingdoms. But man, the Ogre Kingdoms are haggard at this point. Lead Belchers, 6 models left, trying to kite away. Nobblar's going to get between them and some Saurus Spears, hopefully. Man-eater pistols with 5 volleys left can still do decent damage to the Stegodons, but not like a critical amount. Crushers are back again. Good amount of HP, only 3 models, however. While the Crushers dived in, I had to answer a message real quick. Tournament related, not just random side shit. Crushers terror route, and if they turn into a natural route, I think that's their 3rd one, and they will shatter. Iron Guts are trying to hold, but the Lizardmen healing is coming out on top as these Stegodons look healthier than ever, and Scrag is back in. Now, it's not one-sided. Ogre Kingdoms have used quite a lot of healing of their own, but it just looks like the Stegodons are probably going to come out on top. Iron Guts will route in just a second here. Scrag's not looking too healthy either. The Man-eater pistols are actually still very healthy considering how far into the game we are. And Scrag has a heal for himself. Is it a Butcher or is it a Troll Guts? It's another Troll Guts. And I do wonder where the Winds of Magic for the Lizardmen is at. They've used a lot of Flesh to Stones and Earthbloods and stuff, so I don't know how much healing they really have left in the tank at this point. Scrap Launcher still has 1 volley. The Lizardmen are almost out of chaff entirely as Lead Belchers try and kill off the last Saurus Spear. Man-eater pistols are using their precious ammo on the Saurus Spears as they run up. It's not a terrible target. I'm just unsure if it's the right one. I do have Stegs. What's their missile resist? 15%? Eh. Yeah, he's shooting at them now. Man-eater pistols do have armor piercing in melee. So does Scrag. So do the Crushers. The Crushers have had significant issues staying in the fight. Saurus Spears are coming back, but immediately routing away. The Stegodons are just charging through whoever they want as the battered remains of Lizardmen armies try and return. Lead Belcher's still poking down the Saurus Spears. But what can deal with the base Stegodons? 2,300 value on one, 2,550 on another. And though everyone and their grandmother is tired of the healing meta, that is true. I will at least say I'm not used to seeing the healing meta being 2 bow stags. That's new. Man-eaters trying to turn and fight. They're out of ammo now, so they're just good armor-piercing monstrous infantry. And they did a walloping on that Stegodon in the charge, and without any chaff at all to defend them. Stegodon's actually losing that fight pretty convincingly. Nobblar Scrap Launcher is pushed off. It looks like little darts from this Stegodon have pushed him away. Crushers are inconsequential. It's really if these Man-eater pistols and Scrag can beat the 2 Stegodons, because the Salon's also a non-factor. He's just not really a problem. And this is turning into a bit of a spicy confrontation as this Stegodon's getting massacred by the Man-eaters. Crushers dive in for the final time. This is for sure their last experience here. They rout, they shatter. I'm done talking about them. Holy shit, they didn't shatter. They're down to 1 model. I'm still done talking about them. I refuse to acknowledge that they might ever come back. The heal cap of the Stegodon is close, but he's also taking a lot of damage. Lifeslon and his other stag, who's also almost heal capped, are coming back, and Leadbelcher's firing their last couple volleys into these Stegodons, but the Maneaters are holding for now, and if there's a tier 3 army ability for Butcher, or if there's a Troll Guts or anything left, these Maneaters could get more healing and still do good work. We've seen them doing very, very well. Nobblar support, Ogre Bull support still being offered here on the side of the Ogre Kingdoms. Scrag is back in. He wants to get more of that extra ingredients, get more Winds of Magic to try and heal up these Maneaters, who still have so much love left to give. They're charging in now. Bounce power is getting a little worse for the Ogre Kingdoms as a lot of their Nobblars are starting to break, but the Maneaters are back. They've refreshed their charge bonus. And they're here to say, I haven't seen the Salon cast an Earthblood in quite a while, so I have to think he's out of Winds of Magic. Leadbelcher's also sauntering into melee. Their melee stats are much less comparable, but they're trying their best. They're going to help out. Maneater's trying to attack the Life Salon. That is unfortunately the worst target right now. He doesn't do very much damage, and he takes a long time to die compared to these Stegodons who are already injured. Army losses is going to hit. While I think the Lizards were favored, I don't think that was over just yet. So a little bit of a shame on the army losses there. Bowstags did fantastically. The Colossus Hunters got sniped out right away. Saurus Warriors did overall quite well. And then the Cold Ones and the Skink Skirmishers, mixed value. But man, those Bowstags did amazing. For Berserk, Scrag got less value than I honestly thought he would have. Both Crushers did fine. Maneater Pistols did amazing. Iron Guts did okay. Leadbelchers did well. Scrap Launcher did well. And then Ogre Bulls and Nobblars struggled a bit. GG. GG. So I have to go fight the Lizardmen. I do have to go fight the Lizardmen. But it does look like the vote was pretty convincing, with 80% still in favor of respecting the hustle of Chosen One, having to deal with all of the worst matchups of all time for the Skaven. So I'll message him after and get it sorted out, but with 86 votes, that was a lot. Lizardmen, an easy matchup for Skaven. You liar! It's me and Zegzy. Zegzy did just message me. I'll check that in a second. Maydave and Raced are still fighting, and Butcherbird still does not have an opponent between Turin and MTK's Turin, not the Turin you're thinking of. Between Turin and Imrik, so I have no idea what's going on up there, but hopefully it gets worked out. Alright, I'm just closing some stuff so that I have the least potential to lag with Zegzy. Alright, let's deal with some Lizardmen. I have another vote for you guys. What? Has my bracket just not updated? Hold on. I'm hitting refresh. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, chat. We're not doing an official poll, but I'm just going to ask you, chat, my regular build, which lost last time, or new build, never tried it, but I theory crafted it after my last loss. The first of 3 votes wins it. Both builds will be serious. One's just new. But I've already qualified for Skaven, and like I said, I literally just lost this matchup with my normal build. But, I mean, maybe I could play better. Maybe he doesn't bring the exact same build my opponent did. Things like that. So, new, never tried. New one, new one? Okay, okay. Okay. This is a serious build. It's just never been tried. So if it sucks, we'll assess, right? We'll assess. Just bring 4 Eshin Triads and nothing else? I mean, you're not wrong. Oh, we got some schemes. Oh, lordy. We got some schemes. They're bad. They're bad schemes. They're terrible fucking schemes, but maybe. Okay, I need this money back. Thank you. Alright, let's try it. Let's try it. I had considered a hell pit, but I did some testing versus AI. But when I was theory crafting the new build, I did some testing versus AI, and the hell pit actually did very poorly, even versus the Dreadsaurian. So the problem in this matchup, talking seriously about the hell pit, the problem in this matchup is if you can get the hell pit versus the Dreadsaurian, one-on-one, no one interferes. The hell pit can trade up. It'll lose, but it trades up. Now there's 2 problems in the real game. In the real game, the 400 gold Javelin Skinks do a lot of damage to the Hell Pit Abomination for their cost, so they have a great time. And the Lizardmen are going to bring that because you have Rat Ogres, so they already have tools that are good against your Hell Pits. So you have to peel for the Hell Pit to keep it away from those Javelins, which is hard to do, but maybe you can. So you have to peel for the Hell Pit to trade up into the Dreadsaurian, not to win. Fair. The Dreadsaurian is probably 3,000 plus gold, because they're probably going to take the Shredder. Okay, have fun. But fair. 2, the Shredder is going to get healing. So, you trade up in value, but you're only getting value off of a thing that's healing, and he's going to kill your Hell Pit Abomination, right? 3, the Hell Pit's slower than the Dreadsaurian, so he doesn't get to pick the fight. The Dreadsaurian can just try and ignore you and walk away. And 4, if you have range trying to support the Hell Pit's big enough to cause it to be obstructed. So it's like, you have to protect the Hell Pit. The Lizardman player has to opt into the fight. You don't win the fight, and then the Lizardman player has healing while you don't. Because maybe the Hell Pit can regen up, sure, but if the Dreadsaurian... You can't have it both ways. Either the Dreadsaurian takes the fight with your Hell Pit, and he kills it, or he ignores your Hell Pit, in which case it's not going to take enough damage that its healing is going to matter. So, that was what in testing really struggled with the Hell Pit. So, there's my serious answer. Why, not. What we are going to try, and what I theory crafted, was I was having a lot of difficulty protecting my range in this matchup, whether from Ripperdactyls or the single entity blob. So what we can try and do is just not deal with that. And one of my mods asked me why I didn't use the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep, and honestly, I just forgot this unit existed. They could be good here. I've literally never tried it. But they do have immune to psychology. I think it's base. I don't think it comes from Frenzy, but they do have immune to psychology, so they won't tear out away from the Shredder nearly as fast. They have better combat stats, and they have rage. And versus Lizardmen, you know it's going to be a long game, so their rage will fully stack up. I do have some Gutter Runners for a bit of range, but they're range that can defend themselves, and they're really good against Ripperdactyls. So they're here in case of Ripperdactyls or Pterodons. I need some form of range, because I have been Pterodon kited in this matchup before, and then that's just terrible. Plague Monks will beat the Lizardman Infantry unless it's Saurus, and then if it's Saurus, my Grey Seer plus Rat Ogres can beat it. We have 2 Eshin Triads to do a little bit more damage against the Dreadsaurian or any other big dinos, and I did bring Death Frenzy instead of Warp Lightning, because I've noticed recently that Warp Lightning just hasn't been worth it, because everything I'm fighting is just going to be skinks or whatever. So Death Frenzy's a good little buff. It's still cheap, so I'm still spamming out the Musk of Fear I want, and it gives ITP, which again in the fight with the Dreadsaurian is important. The melee attack is nice, but honestly I just want Death Frenzy for ITP. So we'll just try and run at them. We'll see how this goes if I'm not trying to defend anything. Ah, that Quaddle made them invisible. God damn it. Yeah, he has 5 of those jab skinks, so already the hell pit would be having a bad time. But we're moving up. There are some pterodons that I'm going to send my night runners after. They'll go kite with them. They'll have a little bit of fun. Okay, now that I can see, I will give my guys some orders. Well, the Eshin Triads can chill out. They can vibe for a second. I'll try and catch the Rippers in this little trap of mine. Nah, they're getting away. It's fine. It's whatever. Let's do this. And then... Oh, the Quaddle's not landed yet. Okay, he's doing that dumb thing. Whatever. Rat Ogres go deal with this. Eshin Triads move up and help out the Plague Monks a little bit here. And my Gracier lost the plot. Nope, stop misclicking me. Okay, I'm trying to run away. Get Rat Ogres to countercharge. I miss Wolf Rats here. Wolf Rats are very good in this matchup. They're good against Ripperdactyls, so maybe I should adjust the build and have them. Thought I Howling Warp Guild you, but I guess not. Triads, I'm going to try and catch this Slon out a little bit. My Packmaster needs to come back. I'm getting rock dropped on my little gutter runners. Honestly, fuck this. Let's just go get the Slon. He's way overextended with the Slon, and that's my best hope of winning this game, so I'll just go get the Slippy Slon. I'm gonna give these Rat Ogres some stat buffs as we're dealing with Feral Cold Ones nearby. Taking a bit of damage. I'm gonna Howling Warp Gale you guys, just keep you off my back. Rat Ogres are gonna continue fighting that. I don't have any other buffs at the moment. But the Slon did get away. We'll have to massacre these Feral Cold Ones and just win it out that way. Gutter Runners and Night Runners having a tough time. No one is shocked. I'm gonna order you to go into melee over here because you're just gonna get kited. And then you can deal with the Ripperdactyl Riders, but the Pterodons are proving to be a bit of a hassle. Can go through these skinks like that. You guys harass those Ripperdactyls, Plague Monks, turn around and deal with other stuff. This is going okay. It's going okay. And my Rat Ogres should be free now that everybody's routing, so I'm going to order them in one Triad to go get the Slon. And I'll have this other Triad, this other Rat Ogre, and then my Packmaster stay here and fight the cohort of the whatever the fuck that thing is. But we're dealing with that. I'm getting Spirit Leeched by the Death Slon. Don't love it. It is what it is. That skin cohort is right there in my face, but it's okay. I'll ignore him. I can't get distracted from the Slon, because otherwise what's the point? Rat Ogres and Gutter Runners doing their best to shoot up at these Pterodons. Rat Ogres can come join this, and now that we beat up those skinks, we can defend ourselves. Here's a clangy bell to keep us all safe and sound in our lives. You guys are continuing to beat that up. I will buff up my own Rat Ogres. I haven't had a need for a Death Frenzy because there's no Dread Saurian or anything. That's really causing me a problem. But we're doing well in this game. My Gracier might come under attack, but I have Rat Ogres and Gutter Runners that can help heal for me, and those guys aren't looking so good. I'm gonna really focus on the Slon. I need to kill him. Otherwise, what was the point? All right, Ripperdactyl is in. Gonna net at least one of them on the ground, and then try and kill him. There we go. Getting really good damage on that Ripper. Triads are still pressuring the Slon. And we've almost finished off the cohort. I keep calling him the cohort. What is he? The Spirit of Tepok. Not even close to the cohort of Waddle or anything like that. Pterodons are a bit annoying, so I'm glad I brought some Gutter Runners to at least give them some guff. Because if I went full melee rush, I could see this turning into a bit of a problem. I'm going to throw out a quick Death Frenzy onto this Rat Ogre, partially for the melee stats, but also for the global debuff that I keep talking about, because it's so important to keep that going. Like, these guys are just taking -12 melee attack, -4 leadership every time I cast a spell, and it's really brutal. Throw another of those free things, because I need to get these skinks out of my way so I can get back onto the Slon. Gutter Runners are continuing to kite it out. We'll fight the Spirit of Tepok. Go, Spirit of Tepok, go. And by that, I mean die. Die! Die, fool! Anyway, back to chasing after the Slon. Spirit Leech on my Gracier. He has a high HP pool, and he does have spell resist, so that's going well for me. Net those in place so they stop poking me in the butt, as we are going to rout the Slon. We're going to rout everybody. That is army losses. The rush build worked. To be fair, the Lizardman build was very strange, but that is a good start for the new build. And it was a serious build. It just hadn't been tried before. I misplayed at the Gutter Runners and Night Runners pretty bad, so I don't want to judge them too poorly because on my left flank I let them get charged for free along with my Rat Ogres because I wasn't paying attention. And on the right flank I gave them good orders at the start and then I forgot about them and then they got charged. So when my left flank got charged and that was a fuck up on my part. And then when I panicked, I took a good situation on the right flank and I fucked it up by letting them get charged while I tried to save the left flank that was already doomed. So it wasn't the Gutter Runners and Night Runners' fault that they probably didn't pay for themselves. In the early game, I played really poorly with them and let them take a lot of damage. So that's on me. That's not the unit's fault. Rat Ogres did fine. The Pit Fighters were good. They didn't have to fight the Dread Saurian, which is what the Phoenix King was telling me to try them against. And in testing, they did pretty good. But, I mean, just because the Shredder's not here didn't mean they were useless. They still did fine. Plague Monks did really good. They're never going to get their value back in this matchup, but they just killed... I mean, between them, they killed 230 skinks to just get them out of my way. So, yeah. The Rush did all right. I do wonder how it'll do versus the Dread Saurian. I wonder if I lack damage, but maybe with Triads and Rat Ogres, I can do enough damage to kill him. We'll see. I'll try it more over time, but... You gonna spec semis or replays? Replays. Replays. Alright. For me, my bracket isn't updating. Turin and Imric, you guys played. Who won? And then Butcherbird, who won there? Because what's... That's getting delayed. Because for me, the bracket isn't updating. Because see, I positioned the screen so there's no spoilers, but like, allegedly, this game is done, and maybe even Butcherbird's game is done, but my bracket isn't updated for it. Now, I can do it manually, but I don't know who won. So I'm in finals as Skaven. I'm waiting for someone. I have a quarterfinal to cast. I have a matchup between Raced and Maydave to play. Not to play, to spectate. But I am messaging with one of the other quarterfinalists to figure out what I'm looking at here. How will High Elves be done? Imric, sorry, someone asked me this. Imric Stan, also known as Black Knight, got to round 3 with them, so I believe he is the High Elf guy, but I haven't checked that. But yes, someone did have some good wins as High Elves. Anyway, we have a replay to cast. This is another quarterfinal between Maydave and Raced, Kislev and Lizardmen. So if Zegzi wants to be the Lizardmen combatant, he needs Maydave to lose here. Well, not needs. But if Maydave wins here, he goes to semifinals, and then it'll be up to Butcherbird. Because, a little spoiler there, MTK Turin did beat Black Knight, so he made it to the quarterfinals, but it appears he was having computer issues, so he surrendered to Butcherbird, and Butcherbird's Wood Elves have moved on. So we have Wood Elves in the semifinals, waiting for the winner of this game, which is we're casting right now. Tournament organizer in the final seems rigged. It is rigged. Just played a 1 hour, 11-minute game. Oh my god, Black Knight. I'm guessing lag stuff. Anyway, sorry. So focusing on the game we actually have ahead of us. Raced on Kislev, Armored Kossars and Armored Kossars great weapons in the front line. Little Grom, who has been doing well on our stream recently. 2 Streltsy, some Kossovite Dervishes, the Mordheim Beowulfs, Incarnate Elemental Beasts, Tsarina Katerin, and a Patriarch. Tsarina only brought Deathfrost. On the other side, we do have a Salon Mage Priest of Metal, a build very much popularized by Platypus. Then we have, whoa, 4 Salamander Hunting Packs, holy shit! Metalcaster with Plague of Rust and Searing Doom, Cold One Riders, Saurus, and Red Crested Skinks. I love this, okay? This is so funny, because I have been a constant hater of Salamander Hunting Packs. I am always shit-talking Salamander Hunting Packs. And I also shit-talk Cold One Riders. Specifically Cold One Spear Riders, but I'm not a fan of Cold One Riders either. And Maydave is like, this is Maydave, right? I believe this is Maydave. Yeah, Maydave's like, shut up, bitch. I'm bringing 3 Cold One Riders, 4 Salamander Hunting Packs. You can suck it, because I'm going to win this game. And it's not looking great in the early game here. The Salon Mage Priest of Metal has taken a gigantic chunk of damage. He is not doing well as Little Grom continues to poke him out. There's no healing for him on this roster whatsoever. The Saurus Warriors are getting up to the front line. We have an overcasted Searing Doom, which is risky. It didn't hurt the Salon Mage Priest of Metal, but boy, it could have. And a Bound Banishment, Bloodchatter Spites out. He's chucking everything he has because he knows his time is limited. Between Tsarina Deathfrosting him and Little Grom constantly poking him down, the Salon Mage Priest is going bye-bye. The Salamander Hunting Pack still trying to fire in. The Kislev front line is taking a bunch of damage. Oh, and the Incarnate Elemental Beast is coming out to finish off the Salon, but he needs to be careful with 17 armor due to a Plague of Rust. He has no defenses! The Salamanders are tearing him apart! There goes the Salon Mage Priest of Metal. Little Grom needs to shoot him like one more time and he's dead. But speaking of being dead, the fucking Incarnate Elemental Beast bit off way more than he could chew, and he's running back to his team like, guys, I fucked up, I'm sorry. He does a lot of damage to a Salamander Hunting Pack that also got with the Death Frost, and the Salon is killed. Looks like 2 Salamanders will be running away, but the Cold Riders are trying to get to the Incarnate Elemental Beasts. Lizardmen with no healing, can they do it? The early signs are fuck no, they're getting murdered, but maybe, as the Salamanders are routing, it looks like a third one is going to get routing, as all of a sudden we're down to 1 healthy and in the game Salamander Hunting Pack. The Incarnate Elemental Beast gets his first heal from the Patriarch to try and get that Mortis engine back up and cooking. Meanwhile, the Lizardmen front line's doing very well with Red Crested Skinks and Saurus. They're chilling, they're vibing. And the Cold One Riders have isolated Tsarina. She has 75 armor, but they have incredible armor piercing. It's mostly going to be her melee stats that keep her safe, but you can only be so safe from a full surround by Cold One Riders. Other Cold One Riders are beating up on Kossovite Dervishes, but literally everyone does that, so you're not special. As the Incarnate Elemental Beast tries to get involved somewhere that doesn't have Salamanders gadding his ass. Streltsy getting shot by Salamander Hunting Packs. But, Streltsy are also firing back at Salamander Hunting Packs. Bounce power is in Kislev's favor, though it is slight, and Tsarina Katerin gets away from the Cold One Riders. The Lizardmen are moving up the hill, though. Kislev's running out of front line to defend their range, and a lot of their bounce power is in the range, like a full health Little Grom, half health Streltsy with full ammo, 3/4 Streltsy with full ammo, because their melee units are running out, you know? Like, the Incarnate's been taking so much damage this whole time, and Salamanders are still poking him down. Tsarina's at half HP, and she's a moderately okay melee combatant, but she's mostly a cheap caster lord. And the Patriarch's on foot, though the Patriarch's never really a hard carry. For the Lizardmen, they have taken a lot of damage. I'm not trying to make this too rosy for them, but they still have 1 half-health Cold One Rider that's currently eating up some Streltsy. They have a bunch of chaff infantry left in the Saurus Spears who are very healthy. 2 healthy Red Crested Skinks charging uphill, and the Streltsy are getting going. The Incarnate needs to just sit on top of the Patriarch and get as much healing as possible because his Mortis engine is going to be the only thing that decides this. But speaking of deciding it, the Salamanders say nay! Just as I start talking about the Mortis engine being key to winning this game, they come back. Their courage has been restored for now. And Kossovite Dervishes are trying to run down these other ones. They're going to fire off one last volley to try and save themselves. Fire Blood has already popped from these little guys. And charge bonus will get them into melee, but then they falter as soon as the charge completes on some Cold One Riders. They think about routing away. The Mordheim Beowulfs need to chase off the Salamanders and peel for the Incarnate, who's once again getting Sellik's Lullaby to try and heal him back up into the range where he can start doing his Mortis Engine effect again. Little Grom is getting dragged down by Saurus Warriors and Red Crested Skinks. The balance of power is still bad for the Lizardmen, but getting slightly better as this guy waves his finger forward as if that's going to help while you're surrounded by tormented geckos with axes. Mordheim Beowulfs chase off one Salamander hunting back to Zarina, and the Cosmic Dervishes chase off another. But we have some angry Velociraptors coming back, reminding Zarina that the last time they fully surrounded her, they took a quarter of her HP. And they're like, you want to do this again? I got all day. I got all day. As they charge into the Cosmic Dervishes, shatter them, and the Zarina thinks, maybe this is not the place for me, starts to wander away. Thanks, GS. You're doing great. Incarnate Elemental Beast did get its Flock of Doom back online? No, not quite. Very close, but not quite. Patriarch's trying to heal him up, get him back into Flock of Doom territory as he routes off some Cauldron Riders. But Salamander hunting packs once again coming for blood. A Death Frost from Zarina trying to get rid of them, but they're tenaciously poking down this Incarnate, and while they can't seem to kill him, they've shut his Flock of Doom off for most of the game. He's just been a melee combatant. He's not actually a Mortis engine. But the Death Frost does get rid of the Salamanders. The Mordheim Beowulfs return to the fight after pushing the Salamanders so far away. And for the first time all game, the Lizardmen take a brief lead on the balance of power as Little Grom is routed, Streltsy are routed, and it is just the Kislev single entities plus the Mordheim Beowulfs, to be fair, though they're currently not doing well as they get shot in the back by these Salamanders that just won't go away. And now they're fighting Spears, they're fighting Cauldron Riders. They can beat any of them, but they maybe can't beat all four as the Beowulfs go, I thought I taught you this lesson, old man, and start to run towards the Salamander hunting packs once again, but those guys just don't know when to give up. Cauldron Riders and all the Saurus are routing. And the Incarnate Elemental Beast gets his third Celiax Lullaby. His heal cap is closing in as the Beowulfs get onto the Salamander hunting pack once again, trying to get those guys to go away for good. The other Salamander hunting pack is gone. And this is the last one in the game as the Beowulfs will rout it off here. So there's no more range to stop Kislev's Incarnate Elemental Beasts. His Flock of Doom is not back up. He's still too low, and he's trying to heal with the Patriarch, but he is getting damaged more often than he is healing these Saurus Warriors around him. Ooh, and that's a full health Saurus Warrior too. Without his Flock of Doom cast, he's going to have a very hard time killing them off. He's taking a ton of damage as we see. The Mordheim Beowulfs are free and clear on the far side, but I don't know what's left on the map that can kill these Saurus. Maybe if the Zarina has a couple more Death Frosts in her, if the Incarnate can stall, but it doesn't look like he can as he's lost 700, he's lost 800, 900 HP in the blink of an eye, and the Patriarch has no more burst heal for him. It's all slow. It's all grindy heals. And the slow grind fight's going to the Saurus pretty decisively at this point. He instead goes to fight some Skinks. He thinks maybe he can tear out them and get a little bit of an easier target while getting away from the Saurus. And this Saurus is the hope of the Lizardmen. Everything else is so low that honestly the Incarnate, even without his Mortis engine, with some rear charges from the Mordheim Beowulfs and healing from the Patriarch, he could, tear out them off and stuff. Those Skinks are full health, but they're just basic Skinks. These Saurus are a real problem. They start to swarm around the Patriarch, who is getting his healing, but the Incarnate is trying to get close enough to get the healing, but not stay in the Saurus Warriors, as soon as he charges into them, he loses 100, 150, 200, 250 HP. He's trying to heal back up as Zarina and the Mordheim Beowulfs, but he's down! The Mortis engine possibility is gone. Big Death Frost onto the Saurus Spears, though, and a huge charge from the Mordheim Beowulfs, who are also getting that healing from the Patriarch as they try to hold on. The Lizardmen get all of their chaff back into the fight, but there's no more source of terror. Everybody here will fight till their natural breaking point. The Mordheim Beowulf's taking big damage. More Saurus, more Skinks coming back in. Kislev is up on the balance of power for now. As everybody's crowding around the Patriarch, get that nice juicy slurp heal. The slow and steady wins the race heal. As Saurus and Red Cresteds are running away, Patriarch's heal cap is appearing as Red Crested Skinks surround him. Saurus are walking after the Zarina ominously. The Mordheim Beowulfs are more than content to just chase off some Red Crested Skinks for a bit. I think they're coming back now to get a juicy charge on those Red Crested Skinks who are facing the wrong way and unbraced. Now their turn to fight. They do take some big charge damage, though. The Mordheim Beowulfs not exactly exempt from that damage. They're hovering just around 1,000 HP. Zarina is surrounded by Saurus Warriors, and though their leadership is blinking, it's actually 21, which is feeling pretty good. And then it spikes to -4, and now it's back to 40. Oh, okay. All right, let's just take a chill pill, Saurus Warriors. Leadership of -4 or 40. Sit down, think for a second, figure it out. As Mordheim Beowulf start to rout. Balance power shifts against Kislev. Zarina's taking too much damage. The Patriarch is chilling, but for how long? Zarina's Byre of Blood is popped. She gets away from the Saurus Warriors at last. All of the Lizardmen are solo except for that skink cohort. If she has one more Death Frost, she can maybe kill that Saurus Spear or get close enough to it. But, I mean, these Saurus, even at the low HP point, have really good leadership. And it looks pretty darn good for the Lizardmen. I'll times 2 fast forward as we watch the Patriarch and Zarina try and grind through all these guys. Zarina's just running around. She gets a good rear charge. Routes off one of the Saurus. The other one does not. And then she shatters. Army losses hits. And the Patriarch's Byre of Blood is the only thing keeping the game going. Now we have a bit of drama, ladies and gentlemen. If Maydave can beat Butcherbird in the Wood Elves in the semifinals, Maydave is our second Lizardmen representative. Second because of Mercenaries. I shouldn't have said that because it's more confusing than it needs to be. Maydave would be the Lizardmen representative from this tournament, right? If he beats Butcherbird. If he loses, we have a game that I want to cast between Zegzi and Maydave for the true Lizardmen combatants. So if you are a fan of drama, if you are a fan of Zegzi, if you are a fan of more streamed games, you want Butcherbird to win the semifinals and on the Wood Elves, and you want a Lizardman mirror to be cast. If Maydave wins versus Butcherbird, then Zegzi is unfortunately eliminated. Well, unfortunately for Zegzi, for Maydave, that's fucking great. $450 value on the Salon because he got massacred by Little Grom. Salamander hunting packs overall did pretty well. Cold One Riders overall did not pay for themselves, but they were good pressure points. I won't be a shitter, even though I hate this unit. I do, but I won't pretend like they didn't pay for themselves, so they did nothing. It's like, no, they were actually super important. They peeled Katarin off of the Salamanders 2 different times. They harassed the back line. They harassed the Streltsy and shut them down. Like, they did good. I acknowledge that. Red Crested Skinks actually did amazing, and the Saurus Spears, awesome value from them. So it was the infantry of the Lizardmen that really carried the day here. For Raced, Zarina Katarin did very well. The Incarnate Elemental Beast, after one whoopsie at the start of the game where he overextended and got blasted, he did fine. Patriarch was a good supportive unit. Little Grom almost solo killed the enemy lords. That's great. Mordheim Beowulfs did awesome. Streltsy did pretty good. Armored Kossars overall struggled to pay for themselves because the Lizardmen just brought a way better front line than even I was expecting. Very good game between these two. So far, my favorite of the day. Okay. Turin sent me... Not that Turin. MTK Turin sent me a matchup between him and Black Knight for the High Elves. So we know the actual quarterfinal. Turin's computer was not working, so he surrendered to Butcherbird. But I will cast this as a pseudo quarterfinal. So this is actually one step before the quarterfinals. But here's some High Elf action today. I don't think we saw any High Elves so far. Spirit of the Gorg with the 2... I believe that's Euro. Because it's not pound. So Cold One Salamander's good confirmed. He did great with them. I'm not sold yet they're a great unit, but my position is weakening. I will give you that. My position's weakening. God damn it. Turin. No, this fucking guy. Turin is my least favorite MTK player, and here's why. I'm joking, obviously. Turin's fine. He's fine. But here's why he's my least favorite MTK player. On our Nations event stream, he took 3 Cold One Spear Riders versus Blood Penguin in one of the best games of the year, and made me eat my words that Cold One Spear Riders are bad. And then the next time he appears on my stream, he's like, what about 4 Cold One Riders? What about just 4 more Cold... I love Cold One Riders. Let's just put it on Human Boy stream all the fucking time. So we can keep saying, Cold One Riders are bad, you guys. And then watch them win. Because we do know the spoilers for this one. God damn it, Turin. How do you turn your whole army? Can anyone else explain that? Because I don't have time to go into a game right now and do it. But I believe... I only know it out of muscle memory. But I believe it's like Alt right-click or something. Anyway, real quick, we're going to a replay. This game was very laggy in real life. But the replay is just fine. For Black Knight, he has his front line of Spearmen. His Archer backline, 2 Lyran Reavers. It looks like 3 Dragon Princes? No, 2 Dragon Princes, Imric, and a Life Caster. On the other side, for Turin, we have 4 Coldwind Riders, 5 Skink Skirmishers, 4 Skink Cohorts of Javelins, the Shredder of Lustria, and a Slann Mage Priest of Life with Regrowth and Earthblood. It is a little unusual to see the Shredder of Lustria in this matchup. Maybe more experienced High Elf players can tell me that that's not true, but I usually don't see the Shredder here. Normally, the Lizardmen... Actually, I don't know what the Lizardmen do here, so yeah. But I know I don't expect to see the Shredder, because Plague of Rust, a bunch of archers and stuff can really fuck them up. The Shredder punched straight through the front line, immediately routing off these spears and letting Coldwind Riders through. The Slann Mage Priest of Metals also wandering forward, seeing what's going on with his day. Dragon Princes are beating up on some poor Coldwind Riders and Skink Cohorts on the sidelines, but the backline for the High Elves is turning into a little bit of a disaster. Silverhelms fighting back against these Coldwind Riders. The Coldwind Riders with their armor piercing should beat the Silverhelms in the long run. There's a little bit of archer support that could fuck with things. The Lizardmen skirmish for now is being ignored, and I definitely agree with that decision. It's hard to just ignore the archers shooting at you, but the High Elves have way more important stuff to deal with than chasing down some 400 gold Skink skirmishers with their cavalry, as their cavalry is putting on a desperate stand to stop the backline from falling apart. We still have 3 archers healthy, 2 of which are firing, and spearmen are trying to rally wherever they haven't already fallen apart. Dragon Princes, one of them's terror routing away from the Shredder after taking significant damage, and the Mage of Life is running away. She's on foot, which makes her tanky versus most things, though Dread Saurians are one of the things like dragons that can actually hit foot characters very reliably and kill her. High Elves are doing okay. They've secured this little enclave of support. These archers are mostly safe and happy. They're winning that. Imric is trying to snipe out the Life Slann, which forces the Shredder to come back. Now, if Imric can get back into the sky, then this is a big win. Oh, that's getting risky. What I was going to say is he drags the Shredder back, giving his archers some space to rally, and then he himself can just opt out of the fight with the Shredder, but he looks like he's just ignoring the Shredder and going balls deep on the Slann Mage Priest of Life as the Shredder misses shot after shot on him. Dragon Princes are trying to come and help out. The High Elf Spearman front line has prevailed over the random-ass Skinks, so no one is really surprised there, though it does give the High Elves a little bit more breathing room. The Shredder is fighting among Dragon Princes who are getting hit with the Blood Statue of Spite at the same time, so they're taking a lot of damage, and Imric isn't getting a ton done. The Shredder's not a combatant he really wants to fight. It just has too much HP for him to burst through. He has 500 weapon strength. It's more impressive when he has, like, his Star Lance up, which he didn't even bring this game, but, like, base damage values. He's going to do 500 damage per swing. He would have to hit the Shredder 28 times in a row to kill it, or more. So that's just not a fight he really wants to be in. Imric's much better at sniping out people who are lower on HP. Archer's getting hit with a good banishment. Good stuff from them. And Illyrian Reavers paired up with some Silverhelms are trying to hold back these Coldwind Riders. This fight has been happening since the game started, literally. Taking some nice damage for a bugged model. Yeah, it's doing good. Imric decides to opt out. Both sides have plenty of healing, so it's not like one side benefits the longer this game goes on because they're going to heal more than the other side. And honestly, the High Elves are feeling good with having 4 archers all still relatively online. Like, they've taken some HP damage, but they still have most of their models on every single unit. The High Elves with their cavalry advantage right now. The Dragon Princes are taking another Blood Statue despite while being healed up by an Earthblood, but I think they're doing the right thing. They're starting to refocus. Now that their backline has been secured, they are throwing some of their cavalry into the Skink Skirmishers to try and shut those guys down, instead of feeding them one after the other into the Shredder, who will demolish them. But that is what I warned you about a long time ago. The Shredder is one of those models that can actually hit foot characters and hit them very well. One hit takes about a quarter of that Mage of Life's HP, and then she immediately terror routes. I don't think it was a real route. She should be fine in just a second here, though being on foot, she's not going to outrun that Shredder ever. It's going to hit her when it wants to. It's waltzing up to her again. She might route for a second time as it literally walks straight over her. And as new attack orders onto her, she routes from being shot by its little miniguns. And it ominously walks up and chomps her again. Man, I would have been so embarrassed if I said that he could hit the foot model and then, like, missed it a bunch of times, but he hit it twice in a row, so good for him. And he hits it a 3rd time! Ah, I'm not wrong! I'm not wrong all the time! Just most of the time, as he deletes her! She shatters before he finally knocks her away and finally misses a melee attack because of foot character reasons, but for the most part, I was correct! For once. Imric is back above the lizards. He's going to get one of his breath attacks down onto the onto the Slann. I thought he was aiming for the Shredder, but the Slann, he actually did a lot of damage. And he's just going to land on him. Now, Imric needs to be a little more careful with his overall HP pool because there's no more healing for him. His mage is dead, but I think Black Knight realizes that if he is going to win this game, he has to even the score, and he has to get rid of the Shredder's healing if he even has a chance here. A regrowth is out, plus a shield the old ones for the Salon Mage Priest of Life. Imric's still trying to snipe him. Archers are also offering a bit of support, and in the backfield, we do see Spearmen and Silverhelms running off all of these skirmish units. The High Elf Cav superiority is coming into play here. Archers firing away at the Salon Mage Priest of Life. I really like this so far from the High Elves. They're doing it correctly, focusing all their fire on one target so the healing can't be spread out. And now the Salon Mage Priest is pretty much heal capped, so it doesn't matter if he has healing. Any damage he takes is going to stick just because he literally can't heal anymore. Lizardmen en masse are leaving the battlefield. And Imric dives in once again to fight against that Salon Mage Priest. But he misses his charge attack, and the Shredder misses 2 attacks on Imric. To be fair to Imric, he has 56 melee defense. The Shredder of Austria only has 64 melee attack and no bonus versus large, so it's not like, how did it miss him? That's crazy! The glare on the banners, yeah, I know, it's pretty bad. There's nothing I can do about it, but it's pretty bad. We are focusing on the single entities, because that is most of what matters in this game. Elsewhere, if you care, High Elves have routed off more skink skirmishers with their archers and cavalry. We're not able to chase off all of the skink skirmishers, so a couple rallied, but it looks like the High Elves are readying themselves for another charge into those skinks. Imric gets big damage onto the Salon, but it is returned in kind by the Shredder of Lustria, and Imric's leadership is dipping very, very low as he starts to back off. The Salon did give itself some more healing, so I think it's officially heal capped now as archers take another 100 HP off of it. We do have an archer with a lot of ammunition and 1/3 of their models left who will rally on the high ground and start firing back in. This other healthy archer, I'm not loving that they're wandering away from the single entities. They probably should come back here and help with this snipe. Because their ammo, all of their ammo is going to be needed for the Shredder in the late game if we even get there. The cavalry can handle these skink skirmishers. They just can. It's not worth your time or ammo. Salon is below 3,000 HP. Imric is sizing him up for another charge. He still has 2 breath attacks left, which can be pretty good on the Shredder of Lustria when there's no healing, so after he kills the Salon. Or if he gets the Salon to sit still, he can get another juicy chunk of damage on him. So Imric still has some agency here. Halves are falling a little bit behind the balance of power, but I think once these skinks get routing, you'll see that move back towards the middle. Archers are trying to run away. One archer's out of ammunition. This one that has ammo is being chased by the Shredder. And once again, I think I mentioned earlier in the stream with Blood Penguin's Silver Bullets, but I don't see the point in running away here because nothing's going to change about the status of this. You might as well stop and get a couple volleys because the Shredder's going to catch you if he wants to catch you. Oh, but that's actually a good... That's actually good. I understand now. He's running away because if the Shredder does commit to chasing him, the Salon will fall behind and Imric can pick him off. So there actually is a way that he gets away. Okay. I'm sorry, Black Knight. I know lag is very frustrating, but the replay has been banging so far. As the High Elves move in, I will check the replay. I'm sorry, someone just sent me something. $1,800 HP on the Salon. He's falling lower and lower. And all the Lizardmen are gone. Like, this skink cohort probably won't rally either. A little Earth Blood for the Salon, but the Overcast damage actually hurts him, and he is going to heal up the Dread Saurian. He's also chucking out a regrowth just because he knows he's dead, and he's heal capped, so he's like, might as well give a regrowth to the Shredder. It'll work for a while, give him perfect vigor, too. Take him from tired, probably back to fresh, but the Salon is gone. Imric's trying to get back up into the sky. He has 5,000 HP. The Shredder has 1,500, and the regrowth is still ticking, so any of these arrows are not really going to stick. The Salon is gone, and the Shredder, while having good leadership, is still a dinosaur, is not a lord or anything like that, so he can rout. But the High Elves just don't have too much left. It's largely on Imric. He does have 2 breath attacks left, which if he can get the Shredder in them, that can do probably about 4,000, 5,000 HP damage. Not even joking. No more healing. This is it. The Shredder's 1,500 HP versus the entire High Elf army that is left. But man, it is a haggard army. They have taken their shots. Dragon Princes are nearby. They have a bit of HP left, but they're not ITP, and this one's going to tear out on the approach for sure. But here comes the breath attack from Imrik. Let's see how effective it is. Pretty good shot. Pretty good shot. He's missing 2,000 HP from the 15,000 he was at before. Imrik even dives in to try and get the Shredder to take a duel with him while the archers fire, because he knows that if he doesn't give the Shredder something to focus on, it will kill his last archers, and then he has to fight it alone anyway. So he's trying to take the fight while he has a bit of archer support. Lord of Dragons is unfortunately not up, so he can't nerf down the Shredder during the duel. Dragon Princes and Spears are trying to come help him out. The Shredder is taking a good amount of damage, though. It's lost a third of its HP since we started watching it, because we saw it at 15,000. It's now at 10. Imrik tries to refresh his charge bonus. Where is Lord of Dragons? Did it just happen while I wasn't paying attention? That is a problem, but 2 archers are now firing in onto the Shredder, still trying to poke it down, though they really don't have the DPS of the armor piercing to do a lot. All of the Dragon Princes are gone, all the Spearmen are gone, Imrik is low, there is Lord of Dragons. Imrik's going to dive in for one last attempt at a duel, one last attempt to turn this game around, but his leadership is faltering. There goes the charge attack, there goes the dive. He also can't breath attack while he's on the ground, so he probably wants to take the fight as long as Lord of Dragons is up, and then he wants to get back into the sky and get one more breath attack on this big boy. He's down to half HP for the Shredder, and the Shredder misses its first attack on Imrik because Lord of Dragons does a lot for its stats, but more stuff is routing. Imrik might join the routing crew. Everything is routing except for Imrik and one archer. No, there's a second archer behind me. Nope, never mind, it just looked weird. Imrik's back into the sky. He can use his last breath attack on this thing as some spearmen streak back into the fight. Dragon Princes will rally, though their leadership's going to be so low, I don't think it matters. Here's the final breath attack from Imrik. Really big damage value. And we are below half HP for the Shredder. Dragon Prince is getting a downhill charge. Can they withstand the charge? Get in there. They do. They immediately tear her out. And Imrik lands once more on the Shredder of Lustria. Archer still firing in. 6,500 HP for the Shredder. It turns to fight Imrik. If it hits him once, he is dead. There's the hit. And by dead, I mean routing. But yep, there he goes. That is army losses. And I know in real life you guys had a lag fest, but that shit banged in the replay. Shredder got 5,300 value. Coldwind Riders did okay. And then all the skinks died. For Black Knight, Imrik got really good value at 3,200. His cavalry all did fine, running off stuff and peeling for the backline. Archers, really good value for them. But the Life Mage getting killed off by the Shredder is brutal. That was GG. Way over 100, let's go. Yeah, if you are watching, if you care, you can subscribe. We do land battle stuff, we do all that. It's all fun, it's all games. Until somebody gets hurt. Okay, I'm messaging my finals opponent. I do know who wins this next replay. So, yeah. Whether it is Butcherbird or Maydave, one of them is waiting for me in the finals. And while this replay loads, I'm going to take a leak. BRB. All right, that took longer than I thought it would. I'm back. So this is a semifinal. Whoever wins this will fight me in the finals. If the Lizardmen lose, There is a third place qualifier that may or may not be going on right now because it would be 2 Lizardmen tied for third, fourth, and we need to figure out which one qualifies to the faction war. If the Lizardmen win and come to face me in the finals, then there is no third place qualifier, which may or may not be happening right now. And Maydave will qualify for the faction war. The Wood Elf player Butcherbird is already qualified, so he's fighting for honor at this point. For Butcherbird, we have double Waywatcher, one of which is the Hawkeyes of Jakira. We have 2 Great Stag Knights, and then a bunch of War Dancers and Eternal Guard with spears. A bunch being 1 War Dancer, apparently, and then 5 Eternal Guard. And we have Durthu, with Flock of Doom, Curse Bonder here, and his Sword of Daith. On the other side, for the Lizardmen, 2 Salamander hunting packs, a bunch of Saurus warriors, 2 Feral Cold Ones, Lord Mazda Mundi, and then a bunch of Jab Skinks. But the Waywatchers destroy the Salamander hunting pack. Oh my word! And the Great Stag Knights get a beautiful charge onto the other one. Now, their armor piercing is a bit wasted versus the Salamander hunting packs, but still. Actually, I guess they have 80 armor. Wow, I didn't know Salamanders were that armored. Okay. Good start here for the Lizardmen, honestly. Net of Amnatok keeps the Great Stag Knights in place, though, while they're surrounded by Saurus and Feral Cold Ones. I guess that is doing a lot of damage, though. Sword of Daith and Flock of Doom from Durthu did do a lot of damage. Rev Crystal. Oh, there's a Rev Crystal in the middle. Hello, little friend. How did I miss you? In the backfield, we see some Great Stag Knights getting hit with Jab Skinks. They are not enjoying that trade whatsoever, as a very expensive Cav unit gets deleted by some low armor-piercing Javelins, but that's what you get for being Wood Elves. Unfortunately, they just have low armor in general. More Jab Skinks harassing Waywatchers. Once again, a terrible trade for the Wood Elves. Not that they're opting into it, it's just Lizards have a ton of really cheap shit throwing darts at you, and you're a low armor roster. Have fun. Great Stag Knight still pursuing the Salamanders into the back line, and Butcherbird should be able to sweep up these other guys. So he's doing good. Durthu is still grinding through some skinks, and the Hawkeyes of Jakira are safe and sound. The other Waywatchers honestly got away too, only losing 7 models. They lost half their HP, but 7 models. It's fine. Wood Elves are down to the balance of power, though I think this game is far from decided. The Wood Elves have taken out a lot of the Lizardmen's agency in both those Salamanders and a lot of their Cav. Most of the Lizardmen balance of power is on a very, very healthy Mazda Mundi and then some Saurus warriors. So we'll see if the Hawkeyes of Jakira and Durthu can take out those things. Apotheosis for Mazda Mundi as he wanders his way in. He does have 25% missile resistance, but Hawkeyes are nuts. Here comes the net of Amnatok. Is there a follow-up punish? Is there Ruination of Cities? There is. RNG, Butcherbird rolling a d20 and he hopes for a crit. Oh, but it looks like I'll call that about a 3, as Butcherbird was hoping those would miss, so either Lord Mazda Mundi rolled a 17 or Butcherbird rolled a 3, however you want to factor that, but that was a pretty darn lucky. Lucky is such a strong word because it feels negative, but like Ruination of Cities, you're just hoping it goes the direction you want it to go, and it went 3 different directions while in the middle of a unit, so it hit a whole bunch of different models, doing the most damage possible. Almost the most damage possible. So the Hawkeyes and the Waywatchers doing a lot of damage to Mazda. He's down to half HP, and his leadership is faltering due to the Discouraged. Another Apotheosis for him, as Eternal Guard with Spears and Durthu are chasing him down to get a slapping in, and the slapping does start. Though Mazda chucks out a banishment onto 2 Eternal Guard who are blobbed up right now, so that is going to be pretty amazing damage onto those spears. But the Wood Elves are ahead on the balance of power for really the first time this game, and it does feel that way. Eternal Guard are holding against Saurus admirably, though that gigantic banishment routed 3, maybe 4 infantry units, so they were holding well until that happened. Great Stag Knights charge into the backfield, trying to get Mazda Mundi, maybe hold him in place for Durthu as the other Stag Knights are taking out some Javelin Skinks and Skink skirmishers, but they're not enjoying how much damage they take while they do it. Wood Elves continue to fall back. Mazda Mundi is going to rout. No, he manages to rally despite being negative for quite a long time. Great Stag Knights are still on his ass, and there we go. He routs at last, and Durthu is fighting the Rev Crystal. Durthu is doing amazing. The Great Stag Knights are trying to walk Mazda Mundi off, but they have to charge into Cold One Riders, sorry, I'm used to casting Dark Elves, and a Rev Crystal heals up Mazda Mundi. Now, the mechanic, most people agree with this mechanic, and I hate it, just happened. Mazda Mundi rallies in front of the Great Stag Knights because the game decided that he is more important than the Great Stag Knights by enough that he shouldn't run away from them. I hate that mechanic. I know most people like it. I know most people agree with it. That's okay. I know my opinion's unpopular, but I'm allowed to have that opinion as his ass rallies while being chased down by the Great Stag Knights, and then they start tear-outing off. Durthu can't even keep up with the Bastiladon with Rev Crystal, and both of the healing dinosaurs for the Lizardmen are secured in some bullshit! In some bullshit! I hate it. I hate when that shit happens to me where, like, something rallies while I'm chasing it off. It makes me so mad. Durthu is still very healthy. The Way Watchers have a little bit of ammo left, though they are using it well on the Saurus. And Durthu, depending on how he's doing on Flock of Doom casts, he could kill off these Saurus with Flock of Dooms in the late game. So I wonder if it's worth it for these Eternal Guard to group up with Durthu and him to just try and fight the Bastillodon and Mazdamundi. Though I wonder if he's concerned they'll just walk away from him like they have been all game. I suppose that's fair. Still have one great Stag Knight with 13 models. They can get really good charge damage, especially on unbraced Saurus. And the Way Watchers using a lot of their ammunition, but they're doing well. I really honestly like this. I like not using your ammunition on the single entities at this point. At this point being the key word. Because Mazda has a bunch of missile resist and all that stuff, and like to get in range, you're being screened out by the Saurus Warriors. So I worry the Wood Elves could just like overplay their hand and try and get the damage onto Mazda or the Rev Crystal. So for now, it's fine. It's going into these Saurus Warriors. Great Stag Knight's going to chase off the other Saurus Warriors that might someday rally. They do have pretty stalwart leadership. That's fine. And Durthu is walking side by side with Mazda as both sides just agreed to not do the single entity fight right now. Stag Knights do shatter in the distance. Eternal Guard also might rout before they get to those skinks. And the Way Watchers now firing away. Ooh, that's a brutal net onto the Great Stag Knights. Locks them in place for these Saurus and the little pokey pokes to all hit them. But now the Way Watchers can get decent unobstructed shots onto Mazdamundi, who is heal capped. So it's not like it's wasted damage on him anymore. And if Mazdamundi goes, probably so does the rest of this game. There goes a Ruination of Cities. And he rolls high! It was put behind them, and it came back inwards to hit the Way Watchers once again. They're firing their last shots into Mazda to do what they can to buy Durthu as much room to breathe as they possibly are allowed. Hawkeye's Chikira do check out a Smoke Bomb to reduce Mazdamundi's speed by 60%, making him slower than the Way Watchers by double. I mean, they're double as fast as him. He's half as fast as them, however you want to do it. They're still pin cushioning him a bit. 2,300 HP on him. Durthu is still just trying to find a fight anywhere he can get it. And the Hawkeyes are back for now. Their discouraged shot onto these skin cohorts might rout them. But Mazda catches back after them. He should rout them for real this time. And the Great Stag Knights with only 200 HP are back. Though their cousins on the far side of the field had about that much HP. And they just shattered without joining the fight. Yeah, there they go. They did exactly what we were worried they'd do. Durthu is alone. He's against two Saurus Warriors without spears. They're not spear warriors. Though he also has no support left. Technically, those are spears, but those spears are routing as we speak, so I don't really consider it a thing. I'm going to fast forward while the Lizards chase off the last of the Wood Elves, and Durthu still tries to find a fight. Once again, just fast forwarding as Durthu chase off these Saurus and the Lizardmen are regrouping after chasing off the Wood Elves. Both sides are getting ready for a final clash, and there's Durthu chucking out Overcasted Flock of Dooms, immediately routes off two skinks. And that spell, as we've seen with like Malagor, whenever the Beastmen take him, Flock of Doom is no joke versus infantry. So really, Durthu has a reasonable shot of winning this game. Like, he really does. As Mazda is going to check out a net on him, I kind of like that. I don't know if an Apotheosis on your Saurus Warriors is more worth it, but the net is okay, because I think Mazda's trying to set up to get a free charge onto Durthu, while Durthu can't counteract. Shield the Old Ones, tries to mitigate some of the Flock of Doom damage as Durthu continues to slap through these fools, and the Bastillodon Rev Crystal is in. Balance of power is 50-50, and I definitely agree that this game is a coin flip away from being decided. Now Mazda is in. Can Durthu solo him out? Perfect world, Durthu gets to fight Mazda this whole time and cast Flock of Dooms on the Saurus, and he never wants to swing at a Saurus Warrior again, because he only wants Mazda, but Mazda's running away. That's what I meant perfect world, is if the Lizardmen player micros appropriately, he is faster than Durthu, he can opt out of these fights. And now a Rev Crystal on the Saurus Warriors. How many Rev Crystal shots do you have left? 0. Okay, that's the last healing for them. Mazda might have an Apotheosis or two, I just don't know, but no more Rev Crystal. It's just kind of a moderately good 650 damager. Rev Crystal fighting Durthu. Durthu trying to fight back, slap it. He's mostly ignoring the Saurus Warrior since he's bad at clearing out hordes with his melee attacks. He's great with his spells and Sword of Daith and stuff. Mazda is charging back in. Mazda takes a big thump on the nose, though. 1,600 HP and heal capped. Next shot from Durthu misses. And he is going to try and get one rear attack in. He does, but he misses on Mazda, even when attacking for the rear with 75 melee attack versus 42 melee defense. That is a bit unfortunate, as Bird is getting surrounded by all of these Saurus Warriors. But again, depending on how many Flock of Dooms he has, he could be fine, depending on how many Flocks of Dooms he has. Keywords there. Because for all I know, he's out of Winds of Magic, and then he's fucked. Like, if he has no Winds of Magic, he's actually lost this game 100%. As he continues to fight the Saurus Warriors, but still down, the Rev Crystal refreshes his charge animation and charge bonus. Mazda is going to do the same. Durthu goes to meet the charge, though. Can he swing? Swing, big boy! Hits Mazda, though a Shield of the Old Ones is going to give his leadership a little bit more of a buff and some damage resistance. Durthu's still trying to swing. He hasn't cast a Flock of Doom in quite a while, which makes me extremely concerned that he's out of Winds of Magic. Mazda's taking big hits, though. If Durthu kills Mazda, I still don't know if he wins without Flock of Dooms, because, I mean, Saurus are tenacious fucks. They won't care that much that Mazda leaves. And Mazda, cold-blooded, keeps him in the fight for now. Durthu swings again, but misses another rear attack. I think it's just, at that point, I don't think it's RNG. For 2 to happen in a row like that, I think it's Mazda moving literally out of the attack range, even though the animation's completing. And I would argue that I think if you start an attack animation, it should just be RNG whether or not you hit. It shouldn't matter on where your, like, physical arm ends up. Because that would help Mutant Rat Ogres, Jabber Scythes, other things with extreme animations, Scarbrand, to not, like, I used my cool animation and I missed because I literally walked past the target. That was a good game. That was a good game. Durthu ran out of Winds of Magic and could not grind through all the Saurus. Great Stag Knights did pretty well. The Hawkeyes of Jakira and the other Way Watchers also did amazing, amazing work. Grace is home and coughing. I hope she's okay. For Maydave, Salamander Hunting Packs were shut down right away. Mazda did good. Rev Crystal did good. Saurus did a lot of work. Chameleon Skinks, didn't realize they were Chameleon Skinks, did pretty fine. And Jab Skinks all paid for themselves some 2 times. And my opponent is, in fact, Maydave. We will have Lizardmen versus Skaven once again for the final. Maydave did qualify, knocking Zegzi out despite a semifinals appearance. There's just too many Lizardmen in the bracket. I sent Maydave the code. He should be on his way here. This is the final game. Valley of Thieves, my Skaven versus his Lizardmen. Valley of Thieves. Now, I ran an experimental build on stream today, and while it won me the game, my opponent's build was also quite strange, and I played my build less than optimally because I've never practiced it before. I'm not going to take that build again because it clearly needs some practice, and I got not lucky. I mean, I got a little lucky that, like, Zegzi's army was very weak to what I brought because he had 4 Pterodons and a Ripperdactyl, and I had 4 360 shooting Night Runners and Gutter Runners. But clearly the build needs work, and I need practice on it, so I'm not going to take it into Maydave here. I do have an Old Faithful build. But you know what? We've seen a lot of double warp lightning cannon today. I have something a little more special that I think... It's not trolling. It's okay. It's just risky, but... I think we're feeling risky. I think we're feeling a little... We're feeling a little risky today. Just a little bit. A little bit risky. Welcome back. There are certain things you can't fuck around with. Certain things that you just gotta do. So some of the elements of this build will look familiar, and some of you will be like, "Oh wow, big fucking surprise, human boy! Real cool build, human boy. You're dumb as shit, human boy. We hate you." But the rest of it, my friends, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Sorry. I'm scheming and plotting as best my little rat heart can. I need to get the right I need to get the right flag here. This build can work. It's just risky. But it can. I am betting it all on my anti-Shredder of Lustria, anti-Salamander build, I guess, because I have Giselles, right? No, I have Warp Lightning Cans. Whatever. The build I have right now is weak to Ripperdactyls. If he went Ripperdactyls, I'm fucked. But if he went with anything besides raw Ripperdactyls, I think I'll be okay. I guess I'm also weak to Kroxigor Rush, which is rare, but like technically it could happen. Kroxigor Rush, this would not work very well. Cold One Rush, mixed. Saurus Rush, mixed. Kroxigor's Rippers, bad time. Shredder, Pterodon Kite, good time. Anything else, eh. 4 rattling guns, 2 warp lightning cannons, clan scryer, more bullets, make lizard things dead once again. His unit count's larger than I'd like. His unit count is larger than I would like. I was hoping that was in the 800 range. Alright, we have 4 rattling guns to shoot at the Shredder and Pterodons, and I guess Ripperdactyls, but god, they don't do a lot of damage against Ripperdactyls. Wish you brought that against me, Zegzy? Yeah. I did announce, I was like, we won against Zegzy, but I think we got lucky against what he brought. That the theory build I had needed more work. I do have 1 globe in case of Saurus, because if I can keep this globe alive, it can deal with a lot of Saurus. And while Saurus are not common in this matchup, with 4 rattling guns and 2 warp lightning cannons, if he went like 5 Saurus, I would just lose without any globes. So we need at least 1 as a little bit of insurance. Also, if he cold one rushes me, another build I said we could be weak to, the globes will do a lot of damage versus cold one riders. Now, something to be concerned about is if he Kroxigor rushes, I think I just lose. Rattling guns tend to fire over Kroxigor's heads usually. Globes are not that good against Kroxigors, and my front line is not strong enough to hold him back. So we'll see. We'll see what he brings. That's one of the reasons this is a bad matchup for Skaven, though, is the Lizards have a lot of options, and you kind of don't. Alright, we do have dogs and rat ogres. Ooh, I don't want to pair them up. Because dogs are good against Ripperdactyls. Usually they're only good against Ripperdactyls when they have the Packmaster's Shock Collar, but I did bring Death Frenzy to kind of substitute it. That's risky, because it is a known thing. I have played with it for a long time. Packmaster buffing up Wolf Rats can tear apart Ripperdactyl Riders. That's just, that's a thing. But, I lost my train of thought because that is not at all the build I was expecting. Anyway, without a Packmaster, it's a little risky to bring him. Alright, let's move everybody up besides our slaves. Slaves, you need your own control group because I don't really want to pay attention to you for the rest of the game. No one's flanking me unless they're stalking. And we are moving up a little bit. Clan rats need to fall back. This one's unfortunately still in the way, so he's going to take a little bit of friendly fire here. Ah, my rattling guns are shooting a hill. That's fun. Some rattling guns are going to need to shoot at Cold One Riders. Trying to dodge a little bit here with my guys, but yeah, we'll need globes to do some good work. Ah, rattling guns walking into Cold One Riders because they can't see. Feels good. Or blinding cannon, still trying to take a shot somewhere. I'll throw this out. Buff up these rat ogres mostly to nerf the enemy. Tic-tac-toe's coming. I'll Warpstone scroll him, and I'll start shooting him with a rattling gun, and I'll net him in place if I have the time. Chameleon Stalkers are here. That's not good. Alright, let's Overcast net him right in front of my rattling guns. Always going to take so much damage. Warp Lightning Cannons, you have a new job. It's more important. Kill the Umbral Tide. But we are trying to kill off Tic-Tac-Toe. Come on. Come on, he's still netted. You can get one more volley off. You can do it. One more volley. Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Do it! Do it! You got this! Alright, this Rattling Gun needs to stop running because it's not going to get anywhere. But we do kill... Yes, we killed him. Though, it's still looking really bad for us because this is not at all the build we wanted to deal with. There is way too many lizards. And they're just mobbing us. So we're doing our best out here, but it's looking a little bleak. Rattling guns, just keep firing no matter what happens. We lost track of the Umbral Tide. My Warp Lightning Cans are going to shut down. Rat Ogres are back. Grey Seer's chilling. I'm going to Death Frenzy my Rat Ogres, I think. Yeah, I clicked on the right unit. So with the Grey Seer, the Rat Ogres should prevail. Warp Lightning Can still online. Going to fire over at these things. I have dogs back. We do have some Clan Rats. We'll see if we can grind this out. It's possible. Because he has a Heavens Caster with Thunderbolt and Wind Blast, which is not great spells. I'm going to check out a Howling Warp Gale to just keep people losing their leadership stats, though we are taking a lot of damage over here. Warp Lightning Cannon. He stopped. I like that a lot, actually. He stopped and got his units off of the Warp Lightning Cannons and then got a perfect rear charge so that he could actually get rid of us. And I think he has the game at this point. There's not a lot I can do. I don't have any DPS left. My Rattling Guns had nothing to shoot at. One globe clearly wasn't enough for a cold one rush, which is just wild. And then the Warp Lightning Cannons also didn't have a whole lot to shoot at. They just didn't shoot anything, so that's GG. But yeah, dude, that is why the Lizardmen matchup is bad, though. Because, like, some people do... Honest conversation, some people do message me, and they're like, this single build can beat everything the Lizardmen will bring. And I'm like, no, the reason this is a bad matchup is there's so many things the Lizardmen can bring. They can bring the Shredder Blob, which is what knocked me out of the last Faction War Qualifier. Last night, Friday night. They bring the Shredder Blob, okay? This build kicks the Shredder Blob's ass. This build loses to Ripperdactyls. Okay, my normal build with Packmaster, 2 Wolf Rats, 4 Rat Ogres, 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, Grey Seer, and then Plague Monk frontline, that beats Ripperdactyls. But it clearly, as it did that night, loses to the Shredder Blob. Okay. Like, things like that. So it's just you're kind of on the defensive, and the Lizardmen can take some wild shit like this, and they'd still win. This would beat my regular build, too. Looking at it, where it's like, okay, my 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, which are in that build, too, had nothing to shoot at. Packmaster and the Wolf Rats had nothing to target because he didn't bring any Ripperdactyls, and then the Wolf Rats are not good enough against any of these other hybrid units. My Grey Seer clearly didn't have a lot to do, and this is the same Grey Seer I have in other builds. My normal build here would have lost as well, and that's generally why I consider it a bad matchup, is because the Lizards have a lot of options, and the Skaven don't. Can you beat this specific build? Yes. Yeah. You could bring a build to specifically counter what Mayday brought, but that's not the point, is it? Because there's 4 or 5 other builds they could be bringing. So Mayday and the Lizardmen are the big winners of the day. He will qualify for the faction war. Good job to him. Well done. It's build roulette. It is build roulette, but the Skaven are down in it. And I know that sounds weird because you're like, well, if you can do this, that counters this, and you can do this, that counters this. But the problem is that the Shredder Blob counters 3 or 4 of the Skaven builds, and it loses to 2. But then if you guess the 2 that are good against the Shredder Blob, he could take what he took there, the Cold One Rush with some weird kite stuff, and that counters 3 or 4 of the Skaven builds and loses to 2, but it's a different 2. So the Skaven are always kind of betting against the odds a little bit. Brings a meme build, Lizardman matchup bad. Dude, the Lizardman matchup is bad. It's factually bad for Skaven. There are ways to win it, but it's not. There are ways to win it. It's not unwinnable, but it is factually a bad matchup. It's not as bad as Skaven Dwarves for as that is for Dwarves. Like, it's not one of the worst matchups in the game, but It's good for the lizards. Let's take a look here at this thingy before we shut her down for the day. Let me just pull it back up for y'all. So what do we know? What do we know? I have a bunch of messages I need to check, but I'll update what I do know. So Maydave, winning today's tournament, is undisputed. The Lizardmen guy. I know there was a giant tiebreaker for Bretonia. I have to catch up with that and see what happened there. VP, I believe there was a tiebreaker. I know there was a tiebreaker for the Vampire Counts, and Brutus messaged me during the stream that he won it. Tomb Kings, I believe Central Scrutinizer did get the furthest. I'm just going to go Central Scrut because his name is really long, and I'll format it better later. Norska, there was a mirror, and I don't know who won it. I know Nurgle's PA messaged me that it happened, but I actually don't know who won. Nurgle's PA won. So Nurgle's PA is Norska. Vampire Coast, don't know how the mirror went there. I asked one of the players involved. Chosen one is Skaven. We know that. I can add that little thingy here. Did we figure out the Dark Elf winner? Is there a Dark Elf winner? Did we figure out Empire? Is there Empire? There we go. Throw that down there. All right, Bwags is the VP winner. Dark Elves, Bretonia, and Empire. Let's find out. Okay, 1 second. 1 second, I gotta send a message. Bonya. Okay, well, that message is out. So the Bretonia tiebreaker is still undecided as players are having issues scheduling. Empire and Dark Elves. We got to check on that. Empire and Dark Elves. Dark Elves, Dark Elves. Ronin. What else? I was scrolling. I misread it. My bad. Dark Elves, Dark Elves. Let's go to standings. That's easier. Dark Elves, Dark Elves, Dark Elves, Dark Elves, Dark Elves. Hardress Warrior got 1 win on Dark Elves. Eltharian Shades, Big JP, Sipa all lost in Dark Elves right away. So it looks like it's Hardress Warrior for the Dark Elves. Okay. Update that. Hardress Warrior. Oh, big name. Take it down to size 8. And then Empire. I only saw Blood Penguin. Did anybody else play Empire? Empire. Blood Penguin, Empire, 1 win. Yeah, Blood Penguin qualified for the Empire off that win. I don't think anybody else signed up. Let me double check. I'm just going to make sure there's not a second Empire in here. But he might have been the only Empire from the start. Yeah, he was. Blood Penguin's our Empire rep. And all we have left to decide is the Bretonians. Wild. Okay, sorry, just checking some message. Okay. I believe that's all the info we're going to get today as of this stream, so I'll be ending it soon. Here are your faction war contenders. Bretonia is up in the air, but it is a tiebreaker situation, not a we have no one situation. And that'll be resolved at a later date, it appears. Anti-Kaiju on Grand Cathay. Blood Penguin on Empire. Gotrek Starbreaker on Dwarves. Maydave on Lizardmen. Raced on Kislev. Black Knight on the High Elves. Butcherbird on the Wood Elves. Brutus on Vampire Counts. Berserk on the Ogre Kingdoms, Central Scrutinizer, Tomb Kings, Harvest Warriors, Dark Elves, Gojira on the Greenskins, Bwags with Vampire Coast, myself on the Skaven, Koala for the Chaos Dwarves, Sir Groot, Warriors of Chaos, Ian Zero, Nurgle, Everchicken is Zinch, Cuden is Korn, Koops is Slanesh, the Green One, Demons of Chaos, Nurgle's PA on Norska, ODM's Razel on Beastmen. And for the 8 mercenary factions, these are going to be duplicates of whatever's already in the main bracket, but we can't have buy rounds in the main bracket. JMG is our second Chaos Dwarf. Hanadan's our second Empire. Phoenix King is our second Wood Elves. Rocket Row, second Lizardmen. I'm sure everyone's excited for more Lizardmen. Umaiz is our second High Elves, because he qualified on Chaos Dwarves, but since JMG got further in the tournament on Chaos Dwarves, I just asked Umaiz to pick someone who wasn't already being represented twice. Dr. Nerd, same situation. He qualified on Empire, I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly. But Hanadan's got further, so I asked him to pick something that wasn't being represented twice. He picked Kislev. Pigman 202 qualified on Demons of Chaos, but after he learned that there was an arch prize, he really wanted to win, so he said, can I not take a meme-ass faction, because I was just memeing, and I said, sure, just pick something that hasn't already been done twice. So he picked Dark Elves. And then Chosen One was voted in by chat to get the other mercenary spot. Since we didn't have a Grand Cathay player at all today, we just moved Kaiju to the main slot, and then gave the mercenary to Chosen One. That is your faction war for winter 2024. I will be making a bracket soon. Once I know who the Bretonian player is, I'll get everybody together in a private chat, make the bracket, ask players if they're okay with the round 1 matchup, and then start it. Players will play that. We'll stream all the replays until top 4. Top 4 will be live late January. Thank you for sticking around today. It was a good stream. It was a fun stream. I fought more lizards than I've ever wanted to in my entire life, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine! It's fine. I could play today or next Saturday by Ayla. Alright. I will hit you up in DMs. How many players play ranked land battles? Probably. In our community, probably like 100. And those are just ones that are around my Discord and like occasionally pop in. I don't know about like quick battles and stuff, but it's fun. We enjoy it. Glory for Moors. We did our best. We did our best. Maydave played great. I didn't, and I don't mean that to be like, Maydave only won because it was a bad matchup. No, he played great. He played really darn great. He had an epic game versus the Wood Elves. That was a slobber knocker. He also had a really epic close game versus Race. So Maydave had a lot of close games. Just because the finals wasn't that close doesn't mean I diminish him as a player. Like, he only beat Butcherbird, Raced, and myself because he got lucky. Clearly he's playing fucking great, and we love to see it. That'll do it for the stream today. I'll be doing some Faction War stuff behind the scenes, admin today, and then scheduling streams and scheduling tournaments for the next week. I will be out of town later next week. Thursday through Sunday, I'll be in Milwaukee trying to sell board games to nerds and get them out of my basement. So we'll be doing that. So streams probably Monday and Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday. 2 streams next week, but not on the weekend. Goodbye.